All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Njabulo James, the host of the NJ podcast, and this is season 2, and this is the third episode of season 2, but you know, it's the 24th episode of the podcast conversations that we've been having, because we do talk to people from all walks of life. It doesn't matter where you're from, whether you're a celebrity, you don't want to be a celebrity, you're a sales manager, or just an all-around good guy. Bagania supporter, I want to keep it real. I believe you can learn a lot of lessons from everybody, and the theme of this podcast is success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means you're going after what you've always wanted to go after, not because someone else is forcing you to do it. So you're going after what's worth it for you. Because if you don't go after something that's worth it for you, you're just going to live a very boring and meaningless life. And on the show today, I'm a homie of mine, you know, first, I saw him for the first time in a long time at the gym, so it's good to have been reconnected with him, and he is quite thoughtful. He is controversial when he has to be. He's a funny guy. His name is Karabo. So Karabo, thank you very much for joining the show, my man.
Yeah, how's it?
Yeah, good. Other than you be telling people that you're an all-around good guy, can you just share some insights on who you are, where you're from, where you're going?
I mean, I'm a simple guy from the hood. You know, grew up at Davidson.
Yeah.
Raised by both parents. I was fortunate enough, you know, coming from where I'm from, to be the only kid to be raised by both parents.
That's very fortunate.
So yeah, that was actually I'm the only one out of my old friends. I mean, there's like 6 of us, a group of 6 of us that grew up together over 25 years of friendship. Yeah. And I'm the only one that had, you know, both parents. So I'm very grateful for that part. And yeah, you know, growing up in Davidson, you see everything, you know, from up and downs.
What did you say?
A lot. Let's just say the streets taught me.
The streets taught you. Oh,
yeah.
Like listen, like I also, funny enough, I can't even say that I grew up in Davidson.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did it. But growing up, I didn't lie about it. I just didn't tell people that I grew up in Lakefield, Benoni.
The thing is that people from Ekats, we have a problem with suburb kids like you who claim to grow up in Davidson simply because you have relatives there and you just visit in your fancy cars there. You know, so, because there's a lot of these guys that claim they're from Davidson, but they're not.
Yeah.
You know.
I never claimed I was from the hood. I didn't correct anybody. I didn't correct them. Like they made the assumptions. Like some of them said, I was like, no, where were you? Like for example, when you used to do the HUC. And then Davidson. Yeah. And also I've got relatives as well, you know, relatives going to visit. And then when I go to school, some guys who literally lived in Davidson, they also, where did you go? I know, I'm going to say Davidson. What are you doing? It's just something. I was like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Now, let me set the record straight. Njabulo is not from the hood. He's a Lani kid.
I'm definitely not from the hood. I have never lied about it.
Actually, let me tell you one fact that you don't know.
What?
So I was very close to your dad. So, RIP to him, by the way. So the first time I saw a swimming pool was at your house.
First time I saw a swimming pool?
First time I saw a swimming pool, I think it was early 90s or early 2000. First time I saw a swimming pool was at your house. That's why, you know, your dad was my favorite rich uncle from wherever, because he was kind of like an OG to my dad. So that's why, you know, me and him, we clicked a lot, and then we reunited later. I think it was 2015. We met at the gym because it was a gym freak like me. So we'd have a couple of sessions and we'd talk about everything. So he kind of like would advise me about men stuff. I was fortunate enough to. He was naughty though. He was naughty though. Let me just hold it there. So yeah, that's one fun fact. And then yeah, man, it was very good to see you when you didn't even recognize me. I was like, this guy doesn't even recognize me.
Yeah, so
Killer's son.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? You know, I had to,
yeah.
you know,
I got
fresh
your
memories.
memory. Yeah,
I got a good memory.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Yeah, so you grew up in the hood. I definitely didn't grow up from the hood. I'm on record to say I did not grow up in the hood. You know, the thing about people from Benoni, you always get a bad rap because you're from Benoni. Because you tell people from Benoni, you speak to these people from the north, you know, people from Four Ways.
The Lanis.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Benoni. People, when I think about Benoni, they think about the absolute worst parts of they probably think of like Actonville and you know Wattville. And even those areas are not as bad as it used to.
Yeah.
And I say I'm from a place that's called Lakefield, Benoni. How bad is that?
You have to.
How bad is that? Come on.
Yeah.
We actually some wild stuff there. Yeah. So growing up, Ekas, how did it shape you to have the outlook on life that you have now?
You know, as much as like I said, you know, growing up with you know both parents, I wouldn't say they have 100% you know credit in how I became a man. You know, because my mother went to school when I was also in school, and my dad was always working. So you basically raised by the streets, and you know, me being the firstborn, you know, I don't have a big brother like you know, to run to and all of that. So I was, if I'm bullied, I need to stand up for myself. You know,
you just got smacked, now you need to do something about it.
Exactly, you know. So you learn about a lot of things. You know, crime. You know, Davidson is you know, notorious about crime. You learn about crime. You learn about, you know, being an cheater. You know, making on girls and all of that. You know, being street smart.
What are some like some of them have the worst pickup lines ever? Give me one of those.
Hey, now you're taking me back. Okay, well, this one is typical because you would, you know, and then she'll say 4, and then you'll be like, "My punch is 2, man," and then she'll be like 2, and then like, another see 2. So yeah, that would work sometimes.
Would it? Sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah. So that would pick up lines. You know, you just have to make her laugh. You know. Yeah, so I went to a public school my primary years, and then one of the most honorable things my dad did was he sat me down when I did grade 7, and he said, "I'm gonna quit alcohol in order to afford to take you to a private school." I was like,
that is a big sacrifice.
Yes. I was like, okay, let's see, because I mean, you know, with us, it's not fair.
Of course,
you know, so you see him drinking every weekend, and then for him to give up that in order for me to have a better education, that was big. So I went to high school. I'm not gonna say a name because they're not gonna pay me.
They're not gonna pay you. They're paying me.
So I went to, you know, a better school, and then, you know, I was fortunate enough to perform there. You know, and it's kind of hard coming from a hood, and then now you're introduced to Afrikaans from grade 8, and then you're like, vakantie. You know the vakantie essays every year.
Joe, what did you do for your vakantie? Like you pull up everything.
Yeah, on that.
What about the Monday?
So that was a nightmare for me. But it was a great adjustment, and then, you know, when you go to these multiracial schools coming from the hood, you become cool automatically, because Atlanta kids want to associate themselves with hardcoreness. So that's where, you know, I got, you know, I survived.
You survived.
Let me just say that. And then fast forward to that, I studied engineering. we all know how that turned out.
I don't know how that turned out. How did it turn out?
Yeah, so again, you know, gave my dad my results for Matric. I did well, and then he was like, okay, now I can get back to my alcohol. And he did. First thing he did, he bought a bottle.
What bottle of what?
You know, old guys, they buy those cheap wines. I think it was Johnny Walker Red Label, the normal one. First,
another one.
Yeah, Red Label.
What are the tiers?
It's Red Label, it's Black Label, and then it's your Gold Label, and then it's green, and then it's blue.
Blue.
Okay. And then in between they would introduce your platinum and all of that. I'm a blended Scotch. But we need another podcast for that.
Just for that. Sure.
Yes. So you know, we got back into drinking alcohol and turning up, and then we spoke about my career choice.
Yeah.
He chose it for me. He was like, the country is suffering, needs a lot of engineers and artisans, and it was around that time.
Yeah.
And
what did you want to do?
I did not know I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I was one of those kids. I didn't know what I was gonna do. Yeah. And then studied engineering. You know, I mixed it up with partying. You know, which was one of the things that was necessary. I'm not gonna. Yeah, and then I flunked a couple of modules, and he was like, you know what, I'm cutting you off.
I'm so sorry. It's cutting you off.
He cut
from
off.
University
and everything, because around that time,
so he cut you off completely. You were disowned.
Yeah.
Oh snap!
But I was still living in his room, fortunately.
So you weren't really cut off.
I was cut off, bro. if we have to, if we have to go deep into it, I was cut off, and then because we fought a lot, because it's something that I don't want to do. One thing that you should never do to your kid is to force them into a certain career. Yeah. Just because he comes from an engineering background doesn't mean I'm gonna be an engineer. So yeah, it was very difficult for me to juggle my lifestyle and school, and I didn't even love it. I was like, okay, bro, fuck it, it's fine.
So what did you do?
So obviously, Tanaka Mama too. She was the one, that was, holding me down, and trying to figure out what is it I need to do. And then along those lines, I went to the gym. So gym was like my therapy for me. Going to the gym in the hood because I couldn't afford the learning gyms. I trained at Panaga Savats. Shout out to it's one of the biggest gyms in Planet Davidson.
Okay, I should just Popeye.
Yeah, Kasabata, aka Nkalagat. Yeah, they call him Nkalagat. Yeah, so I used to train twice a day because there was nothing much I could do. Seeing your friends coming from university.
Some painful stuff.
Yeah, it was very painful, and then there was a guy who came to the gym. It's a very strange guy. I've never met him before. He came to the gym at that time. He was like, "Oh, bro, Kamala Kusimbi, so I'll never forget him." Yeah. He said, "Bro, I'm looking for a bouncer." I'm like, "Bouncer? Imagine, here's a shine bomb.
That's like, exactly what they do.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, bro, but I'll teach you stuff. It's just that."
That's what you guys do.
Exactly. So,
but forcefully.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. It is like, you can make money from it. I was like, okay. I mean, you got the size, and so forth. I was like, okay, let me do it. I did it. First gig, it was at the club. We opened a club in Wattville, somewhere in Benoni. It went well, and then they gave me my salary. The nice thing about bounce is that they give you money now.
Match.
Yeah, I'm also to bounce, but no. We want money now. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Not just gonna get paid on plans.
Oh no. But the money was like, oh okay. When is the next gig, bro? This was nice. It's easy because I'm trying to remember one. I was just standing there, hollering at the girls.
Performance measures. Shut up by 15.
I mean, there's not. I understand.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, for a few years I was doing that, and then I went to I got a promotion in the bouncing industry because now, okay, let me explain it.
Yeah, please.
So when you bounce in the hood and then you become well known,
yeah,
promoters tend to connect with you, they like you, and then they want to work with you. Then they put you in management to recruit more guys.
Yeah.
I was like that. Then I a few years after that I met Karabo Kerry, who's the founder of Rock the Shades. I don't know if you know Rock the Shades, but you're from Pinoni.
I've heard of Rock the Shades. I've been there.
Disappointing.
Whatever. Whatever. It could be worse. It could be a cousin. It could be worse.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I met him. You know, we did a couple of gigs, famous events. You know, iconic events. Laping, Davidson. You know, bounce there, and yeah, man. You know, obviously when you get street cred, even your money goes up as well. You know, you have pride now. If anyone wants to hire you, tell them this is how much I charge per night.
Per night.
You know.
So like, how do you charge? Do you charge per hour or per night?
Oh no, you charge per night.
Per night. How many hours is that?
Usually gigs, like night gigs, they would start around 6 o'clock and then end around midnight, 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's, I don't know, 8 hours or something. We don't count hours.
You don't count hours, you count I'm a slot.
You count the money. Yeah, so yeah, man, it was fun. And then yeah, I worked with the Rock the Shades guys. We did some, you know, nice events, you know, beautiful events, which granted me opportunities to meet with a lot of celebrities as well, you know, making relationships with them. And yeah, that's basically my life. And then upon doing that, there was a wellness day that Virgin Active was doing. Shouldn't have said that.
It's fine. We can edit them out of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so there was a wellness, and then a certain company saw me, and then after seeing me, I started selling for them. You know, promoting their brand and all of that. And then on that day, they made sales, and I wasn't even, you know, part of their business. Then this manager was like, yo, bro, let me tell you something. You got some potential. Give me a CV, and then we'll talk things out. You know? And I was like, okay, cool. No marketing and sales background.
Yeah.
And then after the interview, went for training, and then I got in.
Yeah.
Killed it. I realized now that I love selling.
Yeah, selling.
Then you know, I've been doing that for the past, I don't know, 6 years now.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, getting awards, promotions, and so forth. You know, moving club to club. Oh no! That company doesn't pay that much.
Why not?
Hey, bro, it's never enough.
It's tough out there, right? It's tough, yeah.
Hey, bro. So yeah, that's basically me right now. And yeah, I love sales, man. Sales and marketing. That's what I want. That's what I should have studied in the first place.
Yeah. So you didn't finish your AA degree. You just went straight from bouncing. Straight to it,
yeah. I don't have a proper because it was first year in engineering, and then second year, and then I was left it. I'm a dropout, college dropout.
Yeah, I don't even believe on the whole thing of dropping out. I think not that you shouldn't drop out.
Okay.
There's no such thing as a person who's dropping out. I don't believe that. What I do believe is that there's someone that was forced into a position they didn't want to be in, and they got out of that position.
Yes.
Just because you don't have a degree, and I can tell you this because now I have one, and I've known people who have degrees and people who haven't had degrees. What makes the difference is, again, it's like your attitude, number one. Yeah. If you're willing to learn things that you will not learn in a lecture hall, you will not learn via books, you will not learn by passing this exam, trying multiple choice. Like, it doesn't prepare you for real. I don't believe in the whole dropping out thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, so yeah, you know what one of the things that made me to succeed in the field that I'm in is the love, you know, and the passion for it. It doesn't feel like work.
Doesn't feel like work.
No.
Oh, that's
doesn't, man.
Yeah,
it's nice.
That's a beautiful position to be in.
It's very nice. Well, it comes with a lot of stress, obviously, from management and everything else, especially coming from the situation that we're in as a country.
Yeah.
But doing what I do, it's very nice.
Yeah.
I just wish one day, and working on it, to do what I love for me, not for someone else. Yeah. That's what I'm working on right now.
Everybody should be doing that.
Oh, definitely.
You know, one of the things that I think in your business, you don't have one of the copies, no?
You don't want to give it to me. Family shit.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll hook you up with one before you leave.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm not gonna buy shit from this guy. I ain't buying shit.
Oh, come on. Why are you not buying stuff from me, huh? No, I'll gift you one.
Okay.
I'll gift you one.
I'll
be your Christmas present. It'll be your Christmas present, birthday present, Easter present, holiday present. So in this book, You Are a Business. The message.
It's a nice title, by the way.
Yeah, very, because you are. I don't care if you are employed, quote unquote, employed by someone, or you're running your own thing, or whatever it is that you're doing, you are the own business, you are the product and the service that you're selling to other people. And I'm sure you work with people. In fact, I don't even, it's so beautiful knowing someone or spanner and where they get this. Do you ever work with people who are just ungrateful for where they are and they're blaming everybody? If you're a salesman, you have someone reporting to you. Karabo, hey, he didn't do this, he didn't pay me, they're not paying me, but they're not giving 100%, they're not showing up on time, they're not educating themselves, they're not giving the effort that they should be giving. So if you have a business like, hey, that ends is mine. Pay away. If you don't work, you don't show up, then it falls apart. So that's the message of saying you're a business. So
nice.
Everybody should do it. Everyone should
I think so too. I think so too. Now, I was reading some quote or some status. This guy was saying, to survive in South Africa, you need a job, a side hustle, and sports bets.
No, it's tough. No, it's really, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. Everybody that I know, whether they're here or in Australia, because unfortunately I work virtually for now, and some people are in Germany.
Oh, nice. Can you do that?
Oh, yeah, I will do that, So it's a very unfortunate position to be in. Everybody has got a side hustle, or they like I was speaking to some guy in Switzerland. Swiss German. Like I want to move to Switzerland. I'm done with this country. I did that whole thing. I did that thing that with those people do. It's like now I'm done. I'm leaving. I want to go to Switzerland. It's like, okay, are you sure? They start telling me how much it costs for rent, how much it is to eat, how much it is to. It's very expensive. No, there's like massive difference. Rent like here is 4 times more over there, and you get taxed 50%. Now I'm like, no way. So everybody's hustling. So that guy was right. You have main job, side hustles, sports bets, forex,
the side piece.
You have to everything. You have to have everything. It's not fun at all. It's not fun at all.
Yeah, and so I really support you, and I think I should read that book because I was also thinking to myself that we currently now we earn more than what our parents are earning, but then we don't have the things that they had.
Such as?
Like most of us don't own houses.
Not yet.
But we earn more than them back then. So
what do you think the problem is?
I think it's the choices, and this is the ones that there's a lot of things that we like. Okay, let me just say this. For example, I was having a conversation with another guy. Shout out to Denzel. So I was talking to this other guy. He was like, when he got a promotion at work, he obviously got a bigger salary. And the first thing that he bought was a car. And then I asked him why. Why didn't you get a house, even if like a car, and just secure it? You know, it was hypocritical of me because that was not the first thing I bought.
Yeah,
you know? I also bought a car first. I'm nice in the sound. Yeah, it's still nice. I still have it. It was my dream car, by the way. But yeah, that's another story.
Did you know the suspensions?
Oh no, I'm too heavy now. Yeah, I took over. I'm a coil over.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big guy now. Yeah. So he was like, in order for me to get to work, I needed to buy that car. So now basically for 5 years I was working to pay that car because I couldn't buy a house to pay bond or to even commit to 20 years of fee bond, because also in our economy you're not guaranteed that job that you have for the next coming 20 years, so...
Yeah, how did you survive the best year of all time, 2020?
Right. 2020 was the most interesting year. This is the tattoo of my son. I was born 2020 March. Andwele. His name is Andwele. Yeah, so it was very difficult, man, because I just got a salary increase at the time. Things were popping.
Before the lockdown.
Before the lockdown.
Okay, lucky you.
Driving a Mercedes Benz.
Hey.
Me and the wifey,
Oh yeah.
Aish. And then we welcoming a new kid now.
Yeah.
We just bought this new stuff. We moved into a nice place, in a nice estate, like Madrid.
Yeah.
And then lockdown.
Let's stop there. Madrid. Hey, Madrid. This entire, I don't know what's the entire thing. It was a meme I saw, or South African internet. We don't deserve the internet, because the memes we come up with. They put up a meme of saying this Madrid guy has this nice car, probably for that one. And then there's a nice flat,
finish at all. No, not that side of Madrid. Trust me.
There's different sides of
there's different sides of Madrid. There's nice Madrid whereby you move into it, and then there's it's nice. It's beautiful. And then there's Madrid, the Amazon Park. Because I moved in with my lady there because of the kid, and obviously you need to sort this stuff out. And at the time I had my own apartment with my own stuff. Bachelor stuff. And then also she had her own place, and then we had to collaborate and buy new stuff together, and things are good. Financially, things are good. So when the lockdown hit,
and when still was the dream of 21 days.
We needed to adjust a lot of things. I haven't been in vacation in a year.
Come on. You haven't been on vacation
in a year.
When you say vacation, like you haven't gone just to relax somewhere.
Okay, well, I haven't been to, let me just say, let me be a typical South African. I haven't been to a coast in a year. No Durban, no Cape Town in a year. So it was bad, especially in our industry. What am I saying? I haven't been. I haven't been anywhere. We're 2022, like 3 years. We're going on 3 years. Serious?
Going on 3 years. I mean, okay, I'm gonna preface this. The last vacation that I had was.
It's not a vacation. Was what?
No, I went to Argentina and Brazil.
Oh, okay.
At the end of 2019. That is the last time I've seen the plane go over an ocean or seen a coastline. I haven't been to Cape Town. I haven't been to Durban.
It was bad, bro.
It was bad, bro.
So
how did you survive the lockdown with your?
I was, I think you had to survive lockdown when you're with your partner, because
about divorce lockdown, is it?
Because I'm two colors, and then but then we also have to look at the bright side. Other people also, their relationship became stronger because they got to spend time together. So me and my lady, and think things through to say, okay, now this is how we're gonna be spending stuff. Let's get rid of this. The Merc, buy. Can't be spending so much money on this. That thing that's we're not even gonna drive it. We can't even enjoy it. And then you know, just adjust in terms of your lifestyle and stuff like that. Like suddenly I'm oysters. Oh no. You know, yeah, it's just an example. You know, just had to adjust life, and then it taught me a lot. You know, it taught me a lot, and you know, appreciate the things that we currently have now. And yeah, we survived, thankfully.
Hopefully,
but then we're still recovering, just like anyone else.
Everyone is recovering. Yeah. Still recovering. Everyone's recovering. So for those people who didn't do so well in 2020, those who didn't do so well in 2020, what do you tell them?
Oh, bruh. Sure. Okay, first of all, you have no one else to blame but you.
But it's Cyril.
No, you can't blame Cyril, because Cyril also had an assignment, you know, and you had, I mean, let me make a typical funny example. In the hood, because I would go and, you know, see Amachita, you know, Skutama police are coming from Midrand, you know, Skutama police, just to see the guys, because, you know, staying at home for a long time can be dragging. So when I got there, I saw a lot of entrepreneurs, you know. People will be like, yo, bro, listen, I lost my job, so I need to do something. Nobody can come say. You know, yeah. That's a banana. So, you know, niggas in the hood were actually hustling. Yeah, they were hustling. They were making ends meet. You know, no quite. Was so kupuki. Last time I checked was R1. Lockdown was R5. And it has levels. And there's levels to this thing. Yeah, you have your cigarettes from Zimbabwe. Yeah. That's your RG, Savannah, and all that. Those ones were like 5 or 50 cents. But then in the hood, they were like 3 rands or something like that. And then you have, you know, the cigarettes that we smoke, downhill shit, and all of that. Those ones were 5 rands. Before I was taking this, now we're like, hey, let me just keep it, you know, because it was scarce, bro. You know, so the only cigarettes that would come in the hood, which was a very, you know, great strategy from people that were manufacturing cigarettes locally. I'm talking in the southern hemisphere. It was about RG and all of that. Now that lockdown was over, you find people still continue to smoke it. They're like, hey, I'm not going back there. Because after this budget speech that happened, you saw a cigarette is going up. These cigarettes don't go up because, I mean, they come with trucks and all of that. I mean, you don't find it at Spa. You're not going to find the RG at Spa, you know. It's underground shit. So that's one thing about the hood that Lani boys won't know.
I know you would. Also, people, they said they stopped us from drinking alcohol. Alcohol sales are bad.
Yes.
I don't know why they did that, but they did. And you know, but some Zans, you guys don't know how to handle each
And that this is no trying to be
pineapple.
Pine. Who didn't do pine?
Which I even did it. That's right. That's right. I did it.
Serious?
I did it. I'm confident. Well, many of them did it.
Serious? I don't believe you, man.
Why?
Are you serious?
Who's having it, Joe? Who's having? We tried it.
So portable yeast and all that.
Do you reckon, like, I'm sure, like, where we stayed, like, we couldn't even, like, that thing was like sold out.
Yeah.
It was like sold out very quickly because people knew
they knew the code.
They knew the code. So we had to, like, you had to go underground to get ingredients to make stuff.
To make illegal stuff.
But it was too strong.
Yeah, after 2 classes,
so I know.
Yeah, the alcohol is not calculated.
It was too strong. So like after that, I'm like, okay, maybe we don't need this. We just don't need this.
Everyone did the pie, you know, Hunter's dry, the apple one, the apple punch shit. But it was a moment of history. I'm gonna tell my son about it in the next coming 20 years.
Weird time, man.
It was. We used to read about some pandemics.
But now we live through it. We live through it. But like, here's the thing. I remember I was speaking to actually one of the physiotherapists where you work. So I asked him, what do you think about this pandemic and the lockdown, was it really that bad, or was it overblown? It's like, we made too much of a big deal of this thing. It was not that bad. Or do you think it was overblown, or do you think it was?
Sure. I think, to be honest with you, I think it was not treated with urgency like other countries, because it took time for us to get out of the lockdown. Yes, the lockdown was necessary because it's a first thing that you have to think of for the safety of people. And people never fully they would understand. Like some of us would understand, okay, yeah, lockdown is it's necessary because this thing, we can see what it's spreading, you know. Even though there were some conspiracy, some of these numbers are tampered with, you know. But then when you see other countries now getting back into the market economically, they're starting to boom. Like South Africa, we still, you know, then that's when I was like, nah.
Really true.
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm over this thing.
Because I mean, like I want to Switzerland and Denmark. I don't think we can even compare the two.
Yeah.
Denmark, they're almost at the point of, it's one of those countries. Denmark, Sweden, Switzerland, one of those countries. They're done with the restrictions.
They're over it.
I call them restrictions, or they're about to.
You see now.
Yeah.
So events and concerts they were happening there tonight. I mean, now we're dancing with the pajamas. You forget to take a bath.
I was going to get these guys on the show, and then I would ask them, how was lockdown for you?
It was very good for them.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it was definitely good financially.
Did they get paid for showing up on? Because I know for a lot of DJs, it was tickets. I had a guy, Adrian Kanwadi, he's a DJ, events producer. He was like murdered.
Yeah.
He was like murdered from the lockdown. But see, you can't do events. NTZ, and those were even hugging was illegal during the that was crazy. So their events were cancelled. So that's why I'm asking for Shins and for people.
They made money.
I want to ask them if they got paid.
I think they made money because they came up with the concept, if I'm not mistaken, and then them having relationships with a lot of artists gave them that edge, which can be an ongoing thing, because there was like 2 seasons of it, I think. So I think they made money from it. I don't know if the artists that were performing
also made money
from it, you know. But then out of desperation, you can just accept anything, and also to be relevant, you know, because people easily forget. So you want to be on TV too.
Oh, Brandesh.
Brandesh?
Yeah.
The late one?
Yeah.
Brandesh?
Because his career was like hot.
It was big,
and then it dropped off.
I think with my knowledge, Brandesh he's an icon, by the way. I would put him there. He was almost
but longevity was. There's no what longevity was. Like there was a show called Bakokai.
Yes, Bakai.
Yeah.
Brandesh was like a sky of music. But as soon as he got the money, he requested to be independent, and then obviously TS had to release him, obviously with the money, and then obviously, you know, without any knowledge of managing your funds and all of that, then you are dropper. So yeah, it was one of those things.
Like those football players, I guess.
Yeah.
They're just and look, I used to be so fan of them back in the day.
That guy.
Yeah.
He was a genius.
You're a genius on the field.
I know him, by the way.
You know him?
He's from the hood, bro.
Of course he's from the hood.
You have to know everyone from the hood.
I don't know him.
Yeah, you're not from the hood.
I know, but I'm definitely not from the hood, guys.
Yeah, this Java is a great guy.
Yeah, this Java.
Yeah, this Java. Yeah, also
Davidson.
Yeah, Davidson. But obviously we grew up under them, so they would, visit the hood. And
oh no, the discrimination. It's the guys are discriminating. This is us too. We're people too. Yeah.
So about Clement Mazibu, now we party with them.
When you were busy bouncing, so you couldn't like.
I was a bouncer that drank. The event organizer would be like, yo, bro, we agreed for 12 o'clock, right? So they would be like, okay, and then give me my bottle, my money, I'm partying now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was one of those guys.
Okay.
I didn't have any responsibilities.
No, you don't have any responsibilities.
Oh, no.
Let's talk about, since we talk about Ujabule and those guys, in terms of sports, why is it that us as guys go absolutely crazy and emotional when it comes to sports? There's something about Ebola or tennis or whatever sports it is, it gets so emotional, so shy.
I think, it's something that we inherit also from our parents as well. There was nothing else that they could, entertain themselves with. It's either you watch football live, or you listen to it in the radio. I had a conversation with my dad last week. Me and him are tight now, by the way. It was like,
he took you back. Okay, yes.
Good one. So he was like, there was a point in life whereby you would listen to football
on the radio,
and then you would visualize everything I would say. And credits to the guys that were commentating, they would make things to seem visual. And whatever that you would say, you would scream, and then Sasa, when you read the newspaper, it's exactly. But there were no TVs, bro. What are you talking about? You didn't see it. So there's passion for sports, man, all over the world. It's the most. My dad likes to say it's the biggest church in the world.
Oh yes.
It's the biggest church. It's big. It's more popular than Jesus Christ, if we have to be religious.
If you really be honest about it,
football is big, bro.
And some people that go there,
you understand? So it divides families, especially the derbies.
Yeah, definitely. At home, I support the Paganea because of my mom. Everyone else Kaizer Chiefs. I guess Kaizer Chiefs.
Oh, your mama grew
to a point where her entire week was messed up if Pioneer lost.
Serious?
It's dead serious. She's not so much into it now, but like back in the day, we they lost the cup final back in it. I don't think I was alive. She couldn't. That's not
but that thing was it's big. But with my dad, he's the one that made me to fall in love with the Orlando Pirates. But he had too much passion. My dad used to swear a lot. And he would swear at this guy on TV for.
I'm so
I'm like, what's bro? And then my mom in the background while she's cooking, it was one of those things that I saw passion for him, and I was like, okay, so this is what soccer does. Now I'm the one that makes noise. I don't swear though, but I make noise. If you mean something like yo,
oh come on,
yes, and then football is one of the most powerful things, and it brings people together, it divides them. And Sebenzini, this first thing that you talk about, it connects people. There's a guy that I met, I remember the Nike store during lockdown, and we were standing in those long queues, and we didn't. And we started talking about soccer because he was wearing a full kit, the Kaizer Chiefs. And I was, telling him, you guys must forget about it. Just forget about it. Then we started having conversation. He's still my friend now, And at the time, I didn't even know his name. And I had to, ask him, yo, by the way, bro, what's your name, by the way? You didn't know about you.
You didn't even know his name. You didn't know what's an outlet, what's what you
football, And then, if we spoke for a long time, we could have maybe, it spoke about business. So soccer, connects people in a way.
It does.
It does.
In a very good way. For me, like I follow the Premier League. I follow European football.
Yeah, of course you do. You're a lining kid.
Of course, like listen. Because I follow it now a lot more just because of the level at which they play. But now that's changing a lot more. I like the debate. There's no such thing as debating with someone or Kaizer Chiefs. I need to know my facts now. I need to know my facts now. I need to know my facts.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because I also like the PSL right now, my understanding, is not that very competitive right now.
I mean, we have
like the sit-downs just came in and basically did a
it's like Bundes now.
Yeah, it's a Bundesliga.
Yeah, it's a Bundesliga. I mean, you have Royal AM, sitting on number 3. And these guys are just new,
How do you take their place?
I don't know.
Where are we?
Number 2, still fine.
Thank God.
Yeah, number 2 still fine.
Are they fighting relegation?
Hopefully. We don't. Yeah, but we don't care about them. We forgot about this.
You forgot about the Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, there was a guy who wrote a status that says, ever since my kid has been born, she has never seen Kaizer Chiefs lifting a trophy, and my kid is doing grade 2 now. Meaning she's 8 years old. So I don't know. We can fact check that, but I don't know.
Okay. Maybe Sundowns is there, or the Pirates is there. Do they even have a logo?
It's crazy, man.
It is 5th.
Stellenbosch. All these guys, Royal AM, Stellenbosch, they were in the 2nd division.
2nd division.
1st division, actually.
When was it, last season?
Yeah.
Oh, now so they got promoted. Now they're killing it, yeah.
So Royal AM was supposed to be promoted, and then they had drama with Safa and all of that. The mom Kiza, with the kind of money that she had to buy Bloemfontein Celtics because it was suffering financially. And Bloemfontein Celtics is not really a big team financially. It's a big team with the people. Abase Bloemfontein Celtics in terms of their house. That's why during that first sale, they striked. They were like, no, we're not selling our team. And then they held back for a bit, and then now things were not going good. They couldn't maintain staff and all of that. Kids were feeling outside. I'm also buying a few of the players that are experienced, and then that's why they're on top, I think.
Yeah. I'm a little Sundowns.
I don't want to talk about them.
Why? A 17-point difference. I want to understand from a business perspective what they did right. I'm taking my bullshit out of the way.
Okay.
What did they do from a business? Because they've been killing it for well over a decade now. What my understanding is.
Close to 10 years. 10
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've been. How many Premier Leagues have they won in the past 10 years?
I think 6 in a row.
6 in a row.
I think so.
In a row.
Yeah, 5 or 6. I'm not sure.
And then the Kaizer Chiefs went to blew the other one. Do you remember
that? Yeah, I blew it.
You know the other season?
I blew it. 2019.
They blew it.
That was the greatest time in football.
Yo, it's so funny. How do you? How? Like at one point, like a 13-point gap.
If I was Bobby at that particular time, I was gonna give like a coach $1 million just to lose that game. I was going to give a coach $1 million just to lose that game in order for me to win. Because it was in the bag.
Yeah, Joe.
Yeah, it was number 1 for 12 months.
Joe.
Straight. Until the last day.
So they gave it away.
Yeah, they gave it away. They gave it away.
Football is not fair, Joe.
So I think Sundowns, what they're doing right.
How many? 17 points. Joe.
They only lost once.
The last once, they drawn 6, they won 14.
Yeah. So I think what they did right was, investment. It goes back to business.
Yeah.
They invested in one of the most, top players in the country and all over the world.
Yeah.
And even though those top players don't play, you have, for example, Gif Mutupi.
Yeah.
This guy is a quality player, but he's not in the starting lineup.
Yeah.
So you wonder as a supporter, when is this guy going to play, and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
But then the secret behind buying expensive players is to train with star players. Because these guys don't train with second division teams or they train with star players. And so that's what prepares them to be better whenever they play. And also they're more technical than you know, the flair and all that. So it's South Africa. Yes, South Africa is all about entertainment, the flair, and we're still backwards in terms of soccer, if we have to be honest. You know?
Like one of those exhibition matches that like a Man City will come, Tottenham will come, and they would just like give us issues.
Yeah, they would. But I remember this iconic match that we had with Tottenham.
And we were passing nicely, right?
But the commentators, they were talking shit about us.
Yeah, Joe. Like, I remember one commentator was like, because we for like a 15-minute period, we turned to Barcelona, tiki taka, that's beautiful football from Orlando Pirates.
Beautiful. So South Africa is just like Brazil. You know, in terms of soccer, they're all about entertaining the fans, which we appreciate, but we also want to see some progress, you know?
So Sundowns has won 11 times since they started.
What?
11 times.
In a row?
No, just collectively.
Okay.
The most successful football club in the PSL here. We won the 2016 CAF Champions League, CAF Super Cup, Nedbank Cup 5 times, Nedbank 4 times, and Telkom Knockout 4 times. The first African team to compete in the FIFA Club World Cup and they finished 6th place. You see, you see now.
And I think, you know what, I think also if it was either Orlando Pirates or Kaizer Chiefs that had this stats, it was gonna be made a big deal.
But because it's
stuff.
No, like this guy, he just ruined everything for everybody. Like Patrick's not to say that he ruined everything for everybody, but like emotional fans.
You know he did. Just buy stuff, and that's where Mankiza is headed. If we're not careful. When AM in the next coming 3 seasons, it's gonna be like Mamelodi Sundowns.
Exactly.
Because now they just bought this guy from Brazil. Forgot his name. Castro, I think. He used to play for Mamelodi Sundowns. So you know we have to be careful. Tina Sisep is not development. It's fucking dollars is never stage fright. Dollar Jimmy performs, but when you put him on stage, he freezes.
Exactly. For 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18, 19, 20. This is not fair. This is not fair. No, that's domination.
Crazy.
Like Sparrow, he loves Orlando Pirates. Then I was like, well, that's why he's Sparrow. And then he told me, I asked him the same question. Mamelodi Sundowns is killing it. What are they doing? You went off. Just Mamelodi Sundowns. I go fair. Let's say, okay, Joe, listen. Let's say Orlando Pirates has one, so let's say we have one good striker. They've got 3 on rotation. I'm like, yes, like of the same quality as your top strikers. That's why the depth is just great.
If we have to tell the truth, we also do have the kind of money that Petrus Motsepe is spending on these players.
He's smart.
Yes. He's smart and also he's not afraid to spend money. You know, 20 million player. He'll tell you about taking players from Golden Arrows. And then, you know, a star player from Golden Arrows, buy them for like $500,000, take him to, you know, run the Pirates, and then he's gonna perform. I mean, now our star player is Ban Lodge. He hasn't scored in like how long?
I don't know.
He's only scoring Natasha Penn.
Nah. It's not fair.
No.
It's not fair. It's not
fair. To spend money.
I
want to spend money.
That's amazing. I honestly want. Because I'm looking from a business perspective, because my dream one day is to be able to buy a football team.
Oh really?
That's one of my
serious?
dreams. I'm dead serious. It's one of the dreams. Let me show it like in my.
What are you gonna name it?
What am I gonna name it? I'll buy an existing one. I would like to buy an existing one.
So even if he hears the Chiefs?
I'm never buying Kaizer Chiefs.
So
I'm never buying Kaizer Chiefs. Whatever it is, I'll assess it the day, but I'm never.
No,
Yeah?
No, wait,
no, like, okay, so basically my goal is okay, Kerry. My goal is to do what Roman Abramovich did for Chelsea, or what Petrus Mutiba did for Mohamed Salah.
Oh.
Me tagging, and then put the best resources in it for me to say, okay, I sat back, I bought we won the league.
And see your money grow.
We won the league, we won the Champions League, you know, like that's my goal, that's my dream. Yeah, I would never buy a kid. Yeah, but a lot of parents feel, what is not buying just background? He's such a.
I'm going to say, you're more cosmos. It's a course.
It's because I don't know which team I buy, but that's just like my long-term vision. That's why I'm interested in what the sort of guy did. Yeah, I need to make a ton of money to do that. So, the reason we chatted on WhatsApp. I want to know why you think this guy is a good.
Oh my God!
Why do you think Mayweather is the GOAT? Like, explain to me. He's the GOAT in terms of all around business and hitting, not getting hit, but he's a pure boxer. I want to get your perspective. Why you think Floyd Mayweather is TBE the best ever?
He's an icon, man.
Yeah.
Look, I think. Look, first of all, it's very easy to hate Floyd Mayweather.
Yes.
It makes it very hard for you to love him. And because of his offering, you know, lifestyle. But if you analyze his game inside the ring, you realize that this guy is actually a good boxer. He cracked the code. He best defender in the whole game, actually, you know. And my thing is that when I said I can debate this thing of
Sugar Ray.
What's his
Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah, what's his record?
His record, she's like
170 something.
No, it's maybe more than that. So
100 something.
This guy.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's check out his record. His record is crazy. Sugar Ray Robinson. So let's look at this guy's record. 201 fights.
Yes. How many
174.
Yes. How many losses?
109 KOs.
Yes.
19 losses, 6 draws.
But you hold it there. Yeah. So now, you know what makes this person a GOAT? Other than him being a very skillful fighter. Because if we have to be honest, we didn't watch this guy fight.
I know, we didn't.
You see, we didn't watch him live. We can't even go back to the old tapes.
Yeah.
But we know the facts.
Yeah.
It's only a record that makes him a GOAT.
Yeah.
But there's a guy in England that fought more than 300 times. But people don't talk about him. I think his name is Lux or something like that. If you can just Google English boxer with the most records, he has over 300 fights, but people don't talk about him. So now, for me, that nullifies, you know, it doesn't even, you know, put that into GOAT status.
Yeah. Kristen Late.
Yeah. No, it's not him.
It's not him.
No, it's not him.
The boxer with 300 fights and two. Oh, okay, no. This guy is different. This guy is 279 fights.
No, my bad.
Don't do that.
Okay, go here. And then click here. Len. This one. Yeah, Len.
Okay.
Yeah. Just Google this guy and check how many fights he has. Yeah, 339.
I'm just going to copy this. Just make sure.
Yeah. He has more than 400 fights, and he has more than 300 fights. So now, here's the secret.
400. This is crazy. 473 fights.
Yes, but
342 wins.
Yes.
93 by KO. But he has like 86 losses and 43.
Thank you.
86.
Thank you. So now.
He doesn't. Yeah.
So now you see now. So if you're gonna base GOAT status on this, then he should be a GOAT because he fought more than any other boxer. You know what I mean? And he was successful at it because if you look at the ratio, it's not even 50%. So my thing is this: I think Floyd Mayweather is a GOAT simply because he has fought more champions than Sugar Ray. That's a fact.
Is it?
It's a fact.
Is it?
Yeah, Sugar Ray. What made Sugar Ray not had to have a lot of fights is that he didn't fight champions. He fought Tom, Dick, and Harry. This guy fought almost every weekend.
Yeah, no.
That's why he knocked everyone out.
With this, I looked it up. I'm like, okay.
Please look it up.
Yeah, because with this, I looked it up when I was like looking, going through the documentary just to say, like, do I know what's actually...
Just to prepare and stuff.
I know. I used to think that because I started getting into boxing, I think it was 2006. I used to play this game called Fight Night Round 3. Yeah. And then at that time, Pacquiao was big. And was an explosive fighter. Roy Jones was tapering off. And then Mayweather was coming in. I was like undefeated. I actually think Rocky Marciano was the GOAT. A heavyweight, he's undefeated. A heavyweight is undefeated. Yeah. So then I started to do research. And then every boxing historian, the greatest fighters alive at that time, Mike Tyson would talk about it. Ali would talk about it. Obviously, Floyd is not going to say there's a fighter better than him. Like, you shouldn't say that. Ronaldo will never say this about a person better. So then I asked myself, what is it? And then they said this guy he beat every single champion that was in front of him. I don't know if it was one. I don't know if it was I think it was more than 11. And he wanted different weight classes.
So you see now with Floyd, he has over 17 pay-per-view, and you know with pay-per-view it's money. It's money, and I mean, come on.
Well, like first of all, let's just get this out the way. Floyd is 49-0, not 50-0. I'm not counting Conor. No, that's not fair. I'm not even counting.
But Conor is a boxer.
He's not a boxer.
He's a boxer.
No, don't.
It's in his belt.
Don't disrespect.
I'm serious.
I know you've got the boxing license. If it's Kimitunisha Matunis, come on. That wasn't even a fair fight. Did you watch that Conor fight?
I did. I enjoyed it.
I had a good time.
I did because of how they sold it and the trash talk behind it.
Come down to it like, hey, Floyd messed him up. Good big time.
And he dragged it nicely.
He dragged it nicely. You know, like when he started the fight, Mayweather, being the genius that he is, is that he, in the first couple of rounds, he wanted to test Conor's punching power. The moment I think Conor hit him with an uppercut, and then Mayweather didn't move, he's like,
he was like, that was nice.
He murdered it. So like for me, doing the research is that all people, the goats of boxing, say that this guy is a goat.
My thing is this: Floyd Mayweather fought.
He fought 22 world champions. 22. Almost half his fights were world champions, and he beat every single one of them.
Exactly.
So now he's never been knocked down.
Exactly. So now
or knocked out.
So now with Floyd, he fought people that were well known to be fighters. That's why I'm saying that he fought more champions than any other boxer. I mean, Muhammad Ali, who's also regarded as the GOAT, was knocked out by a guy who only had 7 fights. Who knows this guy's third fight? You understand? So that's what I'm saying. We can't really go back into who fought with him. Yeah, but then we've seen Floyd dominating in every era. This guy started in '96. He dominated in the late '90s. He dominated in the early 2000s. 2010 he was at his prime, and he was a champion in different weight class. You know, 5 different weight class. Who does that? That's like, you know, lightweight. You know, welterweight, light featherweight. You know, if he wanted, he was going to go to middleweight. Yeah, because that was the next one, the next step.
That Bleacher Report, like I don't know what they say. Roy Jones number 10, Machu North, Old Mongoose number 9, Rocky Marciano.
Oh no, they're not going to say anything about Floyd. The only
Rebecca Duran. I said,
I love Sugar Ray. He was the first boxer I've ever watched.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah,
he's good. Iron Mike, top 4. Iron Mike's not top 4 all time.
Oh no, he's not.
Joe Lewis, you see Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson. Like most of these top 10 lists have got Sugar Ray at the top.
Yeah, I think it's because of the records. Also, you know, Mexicans and black fighters, especially in America, they dominate the sport. So now you did not know about Len.
No, I didn't.
I just told you about Len, and he had the most record than, you know, everyone on the list.
Man, Pac-Man number 4. People need to stop saying, okay, that this is fun. This makes sense to Sugar Ray Robinson. This is I don't believe this.
You see now?
I don't believe
this. They put Muhammad Ali number 1. You see, it's an opinion.
It's an opinion.
That's why we engage him with this thing.
It's an opinion. Because like, I don't mind someone saying Floyd is the greatest fighter of all time. Because I still put Sugar Ray Robinson. I still put Sugar Ray.
My thing is this: I don't think you should, because you did not watch this guy fight. You don't know this. The only thing you know about him is his record.
That all I know is the record. Okay.
That's it.
Let's do this.
I've seen Floyd.
If we were to do this and say the best boxer I've ever seen, that's a different discussion. I'm going to say Floyd Mayweather. If I were to choose a boxing,
what are you basing this GOAT status on? Besides, what are you basing his GOAT status on? Besides his record, Sugar Ray. Besides his record.
Okay, so for me, like the record does count.
Besides that.
Besides record.
Yeah.
I can't use the eye test because I went and looked at old footage. I read about it. I read about him.
I can only read.
I read his biography. I read what the experts were saying, and I can only go on what I read because I didn't see, which is I can't be fair.
What did you read that stood out?
Okay, so the factor about him being the most complete boxer, like defense, offense, combinations, the way he moved. At one point, he was virtually untouchable. The fact that sometimes you couldn't actually hit him or hit him meaningfully, and just in terms of also being a beautiful fighter, and also his fights were headlines as well, not like nowadays because you can't compare the two. And then also
was famous at the time.
He was famous at the time, and you can only fight the best of your day. So you can only fight the best of your day. He fought the very best of his day at in his weight class. That is why they came up with this whole thing. Pound for pound was based on this guy.
Yeah, of course.
Pound for pound is like that's why it's like if everyone was at the same weight class, they would say Sure Robinson's the best.
Okay, so now based on what you said, I can say the same thing about Floyd, and that is a fact. Because Floyd is untouchable. So now the proof that I have that Floyd is untouchable is going back to the record. So now his record is being beat before, meaning he's beatable, meaning you can crack his code. I remember a fight with Oscar De La Hoya.
Oscar suffered in that one. What kind of fight?
And Oscar at the time was a champion in that division. You know, it took time for that fight to happen. You understand? And the interesting part about it, and a lot of people don't know, is that Floyd and his dad were going through a rough patch, so he was coaching Oscar De La Hoya at the time. He gave Oscar a blueprint.
Still beat him.
Still couldn't crack it. You see?
So hit him, like for me, like some
that's genius.
That's what boxing. If I were to pick a boxing career, I'd have friends. Here's what I do: I bore everyone to death. I frustrate you. And when you get frustrated, you start making mistakes. And then I keep my punches in. Count out
patience.
Listen, who is Floyd? Floyd doesn't knock. He's not a knockout artist. Unfortunately, I like seeing people get knocked the fuck out. You get knocked the fuck out. That's what I'm gonna put on my next day.
It was good.
That's what I'm basing on. I don't mind someone saying that Floyd is the greatest ever. What I do mind is people saying Pacquiao is the greatest ever. I have a problem with that.
Oh, I do have a problem with that too.
I have a problem.
But he's a beautiful boxer.
He's a beautiful
boxer. He's entertaining.
He's entertaining.
Yeah, you see action.
Yeah, you see action.
He's always pressing.
He's always pressing. He'll knock you out as well. So, you know, I also with Floyd, I remember I was speaking to Luco before. He loves Mayweather. He doesn't want to hear any other debate. Doesn't want to hear any other angle. He's a boxing fanatic that way. I said, you know what Floyd Mayweather is like? He is like the greatest football team to have ever existed, and that's for me, is the Spanish national team between 2008 and 2012. They won the Euro, they won the World Cup, and they won the Euro again, and then that Barcelona team, which is pretty much Spain, won Champions League and all these things.
That's crazy.
What they did, they played tiki-taka, pass, score, hold position. That is genius.
Yeah, it's genius.
If I can pick, that's exactly what.
Yeah, that's Floyd. Floyd was he's a goal for me. You know, even outside of boxing, you know, the moves that he's making business-wise.
And he's knocked out 27 people. Oh, that's good. That's good.
This guy is good.
He's very good.
I mean, my thing is this: I acknowledge the fact that it's hard for people to love Floyd. It's very hard. But at some point, when I saw him, when he was still called Pretty Boy, I didn't like him, you know. But then when I saw him box, and you know, you see him, you're like, wow, this guy.
He's not a beautiful fighter. Let's not get it. He's not a beautiful fighter.
He is.
How do you say he's a beautiful fighter?
You must watch the Pacquiao fight.
I watched the Pacquiao fight.
You must watch. You must watch how he moved, man. You must watch the Oscar De La Hoya. You must watch the Cotto. You must watch Yeah, the shoulder.
Yeah, for me, that's not beautiful because for me, the beauty comes in on the offense as well. He's a lot on the defensive side. He's a lot on the defensive side. Yeah. So
no, I agree with you. The thing is that with people who love the sport of fighting, they want to see violence, and it's good.
It's a combat sport.
That's why I love MMA. I know that's extreme, but I love MMA.
Yeah.
You must try it, by the way.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, that's on my bucket list.
Yeah, please, you must try it.
Yeah.
And so with Floyd, he's not a typical boxer that's entertaining like Mike Tyson. With Mike Tyson, someone Lennox Lewis, someone's gonna get knocked the fuck out. So with him, you just need to be patient, have your beer, have your snacks, and just relax. Yeah, even when you go watch it live. It's not like with Mike Tyson where you got there late and they're like, hey, you got knocked the fuck out, man. You late. It's like, how?
I was spying my popcorn.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's like, yeah.
So with this guy, you can just relax and, chill and just enjoy, the build-up.
The build-up.
Yeah, the build-up into it.
Yeah. So other than Floyd, who's like a sportsman or a sports team? We talk about Pirates, we talk about Floyd, we talk about a sports person that you are passionate about, and why?
I think so. I love MMA, by the way. So the person that I recently started following was Israel Adesanya. He's Israel Adesanya. He's the current middleweight champion in the UFC. He's originally from Nigeria, moved to New Zealand, and then he has over 100 fights professionally. But then in UFC, he has a beautiful, perfect record of 22-1.
What's the one?
No, it's a loss. He lost one when he moved up his weight.
Oh,
yeah, his weight division for Richard is middleweight. Yeah, but then he moved up to heavyweight, and then you know how it is in the middleweight. Yeah, so that's one guy that I'm following. The inspiration behind him, he used to be, bullied as a kid, coming from Nigeria, going to an all-white country, being a black kid there, and then he stood up for himself, started teaching himself how to fight and so forth and so on, and then he loves anime, loves anime, Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z, all of that. So that's one guy that I like. Now he's making money,
Now he's making money.
Yeah, now he's making the big bucks.
So why do UFC guys don't make as much money as boxers?
It's not a popular sport yet. I mean, that's why I asked you if you watch MMA. You were like, no. So
I just heard about it.
Yes. So it's not really popular that much, and I think also with the promotions, there's not too many promotions when it comes to UFC. I mean, there's like UFC, which is like the top one, and then there's local ones, small ones that are not really that lucrative.
I remember seeing, isn't the EFC?
EFC in South Africa, yes. That one, you don't make money there. So then you get paid to fight.
One of those shows?
I wanted to before the lockdown, yes.
I wanted to, and that happened. I'm sorry, man.
But it's not as exciting as the UFC. If you watch the UFC, you're not gonna be interested in South African stuff.
Is it?
Yeah, and another thing, it's dominated by, not to be xenophobic, but it's dominated by African people, rather than South African. And it's a South African thing.
West African.
Yeah. So that's people are not represented.
Actually, like with it, I found that people from other African countries who come here, they are hungry.
Yeah.
Well, no, they'll outwork you. They'll outwork you. Like whether it uses whether knowledge workers or hand workers, they'll outwork you.
Some guy from Zimbabwe was telling me, he said, you know how we ask for jobs? Especially at restaurants. We tell them we don't want to be paid. We'll make money from our tips. That's why most restaurants in South Africa, they're donated by Zimbabweans. You only get paid when you become maybe like a manager or something. In some restaurants, I'm not gonna speak about a lot of them. That's why Julius Malema wanted to visit you know, the popular restaurants, just to ask how many employees they have and so forth and so on. And when you go to restaurants, you see them. You know, we don't have a problem with them being there, but what makes them taking anything makes our people to suffer, because our people are not going to take peanuts, you know, because families to feed, because, you know, we don't only feed our own family, we've got black tax. When mama goes like 20 man, my mama go right. Yeah, you got a pool there by the house, but she still wants money.
It's so cool. I remember I started working. I thought they left, to be fair to them, they left me alone for 1 year. After that,
serious?
Hey Joe,
pay back the money.
Pay back the money. Joe. Bonuses and stuff like that. To this day, any bonus that I get,
forever.
Next one,
and he knows money, that one.
Yes, especially taking money where he's not. He should take that money. So, as you're out, you know, there's another book that I'm writing. Yeah, I get bored and I'll get bored of it.
That's good.
No.
That's good bored though. As I'm shy, I must be ready.
I'm shy, listening about so I'm writing about Father of Man, because every time I write a book, I'm trying to solve a question that I have for myself and other people have. So other questions like, how do we build better men? Because, you know, we've had this gender-based violence thing and everything. But I think the focus has been too much on what women have been going through. Okay, men go through stuff as well. You see RIP the late to Rick passed away because of mental health related issues. So I want to get from your take, how is it that you can at least be like real with yourself and like real with your emotions? And
I think, you know, the society that we're living in, it has made men who speak out to seem weak. Yesterday, when I heard the news, I knew Ricky personally. He was, I wouldn't say friend, but I knew him. You know, for many years. You know, we'll chat there and there, or go to his barber shop and get a fresh haircut. I went on tour on his first album with him. We were selling albums on the boot. So I think, you know, the thing of men speaking out, it's still taboo. It's not something that you can. It's not normal. So I think for us to build, you know, proper manhood, as much as we have those men conferences and those, you know, those fake men conferences, I think we should have.
I'm planning.
Oh really? Please do it. Yeah, we need to sit down as men and talk to say, bro, what is that you're going through? You know, I have a friend who shout out to him. That's one guy that is not afraid to be emotional about whatever that is going through. That's one thing that made him to be able to get over certain things, because he went through a lot of things in his childhood. But then now, the problem now is me. You know, reciprocating the same energy as him. I cannot tell him about doesn't compare, because I'm not there yet mentally. He's stronger than me. I'm not. I mean, I'm thinking, Uti, I can even show you the text on our group message. I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have just care. But you know, you understand what I'm saying? So I think you know, we need to talk as men, and not necessarily to our women, but we need to talk to our fathers, we need to talk to our friends, we need to talk to our brothers. You know what I mean? Because now women, this thing is trending now. Women are like, no, we're here for you, we need to talk. The first thing she'll tell you, she'll say, man up.
Like, what does that mean? First of all, you asked me to speak. Now I'm just man up. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what that is. You know, like when I was doing research, I was like, okay, how to be a man and all these things. A lot of female-based publications will say how to be a man. Now, as a female, how do you understand what a man's going through? Can you really understand? I don't know.
You won't. That's why, as much as women, they say that they're very complicated, and we also have our own complications. We just need someone to seek us. And most women who are not, you know, they'll say, men, they're easy. But we go through a lot of things. We process a lot of things. We have a lot of responsibilities. You know what I mean? I was listening to Ricky Rick's track the other time when I was driving here. In one of his lyrics, he was saying his his family or his mother was saying that we are because of you, and basically saying that Simengao, and then should do by the second period, not to by the same. So you can
pressure.
So you can imagine a lot of pressure. Now he's thinking of going, so that this pressure can just, you know, understand. So I think we go through a lot of things. We also put a lot of responsibilities that we're not supposed to on our shoulders.
Example?
I know it's bad going back to Black text. The other time she was asking for money airtime. Data actually. Because she finished the data by mistake.
But okay, when she left, she didn't switch on airplane mode.
No, as I'm a pilot. So my mom, now she's asking airtime money from me, you know. And guess what I say? I was like, I am to know that I need money. You know what I mean? So that's just, it wasn't a need for her, but then there's another guy who's given, you know, a responsibility to take care of, you know, other people. I'm not saying it's wrong. You know, I'm not saying it's also but then it's hard for us to, you know, start our lives while we need to fix a certain life, and then now we have to start all over again. You know, now
it puts you on the back foot because when I started, I think it was in my second year of expand. I just got a promotion. One of the worst things I could have ever said to, thank you very much, thank you. That was my second year. Yeah, it was the worst thing I could have said to my parents. Why?
Don't say it.
I said it. Isn't it because I want them to celebrate my success? Mind you, if I ever get promoted, no one's knowing. It was.
If no one's in your aeroplane,
you're shut up here. You won't even like how. Like, my mom was asking, like, yes, I'm 17, I'm not seeing you, that's by design. That's by design. My dad, I was basically, you know, like a SOP, there's this whole thing of you have to tie it, you know? 10%. 10%. That's a lot. And then also, I think it was a Trevor Noah. His mother, freedom of black tax. I honestly think that's why if you want your kid to be a successful Trevor Noah, freedom from black tax. You know what? Listen, I already struggled. I don't want you to feel the brunt of the struggle by you taking a step back by giving me money. So I want you to take, at least for your job, is to take the money that you have and be as successful as you can. So that's
she's a very smart woman.
She's very, very smart woman. Very too much. Hey, Trevor, I need you on the show.
Yeah, it's be mad.
We don't tell you, like, why would you sit here? I'm asking you to get on the show. That's be mad.
Black tax.
I want you on the show. Karabo Wednesday. Sure. So that's the thing. And then also, there's something about being a guy. And then you've got your mom is looking at you, and then also your father, my dad also passed away now. And no one has ever said this, but I'm already thinking, like, hey, I need to take care of these people, I need to work hard, I need to do all these things. And there were times I'm like, oh, this is a bit too much for me, very much for me. So I can sort of, I don't get it, but I understand what he was sort of like going through.
Yeah, so, sure, it's crazy, man, the amount of pressure that we have as men. And you know what, the interesting thing is this, men who are working have pressure, and men who are not working also have pressure. Exactly. So we're all going through probably the same thing. We can relate. This is why it's very important to have those, you know, real men's conference whereby we can all relate to each other's issues. And then I think if we can talk more, I think we can get to solutions. And then also one of the things that you know, creates some gender-based violence. And I think with our society, they're looking more on the consequences than the cause of the issue. So they would say cancel him, you know, or or he must be killed and all of that. They want we need to go back to the source, to what made this guy to do this. Chances are it was normal where he's from to and when you grow up with that, it's very normal.
It's very normal for you.
Yeah, it's very normal.
No one told you that you're not supposed
to. It's wrong, no.
Or
it's illegal, no. So you see that, and then you're like, oh, okay, so this is what a man does. Okay, I'm gonna do it. You know, also being able to control your emotions.
Yes.
You know, we're not all emotionally intelligent people, but we need to be able to, you know, control our emotions as well.
Yeah.
You know, be calm and also, you know, make a decisive decision into making a choice in a certain situation. Yeah. So I was asking a guy, my colleague, two of them, to say, what would you do if your wife cheats on you?
Yeah.
This other guy was like, I was like, okay. And then the other one is like, and then they asked me, when I carry, what would you do? I was like, I'll leave. Yeah. And why? Because I already meditated upon it. Yeah. I already thought, okay, in this situation, what would I do? Because when I asked this other guy, he changed his face.
He didn't think about it at all.
No. He was like, what? I'll kill her. I was like, what's the thing?
He wasn't even lying. He was very honest.
He was honest. And I told him, I appreciate your honesty. But, okay, not to be racist, but I call him Engelbrecht, he's a white boy.
Engelbrecht.
Yeah, Engelbrecht.
Engelbrecht.
Yeah, so I told him to say, look, you need to, as a man, you need to think about every situation that you might be in.
That's good.
You need to think, like, okay, what am I going to do if I find this woman cheating on me? And this is the first time I'm getting this.
Because I've been so hooded. I've been so hooded and so hooded. So, you just don't get a lot of this. That's my approach.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I told him, I was like, you need to calm down and you need to think, because you're not thinking about the consequences behind after you killing him. You know? I said, no, I don't care. I was like, no,
that's why. That's why.
I was like, calm down. Think. What are you gonna do if you find the woman cheating on you? I asked my friend the same question as well, because me and him we talk a lot, and you know we chat and we kind of like share the same mind. Shout out to C Paul, my neighbor. I must bring him as well. Yeah, you're gonna have a chat with him. You got kids now. So now what he would say all the time, he'd be like, I'm coming to your house. I'll be sleeping there for 3 days. You need to help me to get a place and sort myself out, and then you're right.
That's a better response.
I was like, wow.
He's probably thought about it, man.
I can call him now.
Let's not call him now.
We can, I'm serious.
Call him now.
Okay, we can.
Okay, call him.
Oh, we can, bro.
I just put him on speaker.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him on speaker. Like it'll tell you, and that's our code. And it's crazy. Wait, no, Mikhail. So I call him Mikhail's from. Okay, let me see there. Speaker. Can you hear it?
Hey, what's up, dog?
Yo, hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man? You good?
Are you good, bro?
I'm alright, dog. And you?
Oh, good. Listen, I'm on a podcast now with Njabulo. I'm on a podcast, so you're live on a podcast right now, ne?
You're live on the show.
Right.
So now, I need you to answer, like, you must give me the answer that you usually tell me, ne?
Okay.
What?
How honest do you want me to be? 100%.
100%. The same answer that you tell me even when we are alone, ne?
Okay, yeah.
What would you do if you found your wife cheating on you?
Hey, no, honestly speaking,
like, tell me.
Honestly speaking, I think I would try for a divorce, because I just don't think, I'm certain that if that happens, I won't be able to see her the same way, dog.
Okay, hold on. So now, in that incident, ne, like, what would you, like, the action that you would do after finding out, after seeing it, what would you do?
I'll give you a call, ask you where you're at, come through to your house, probably bring a bottle of wine or whiskey, drink it, cry, wake up and move on with life.
Thank you, that's all I want to see.
Amazing.
That's how to get angry with people end up in jail and doing stupid stuff. Just drink a bottle, cry about it, go to your guy, cry about it, laugh about it,
yes.
then wake up and move on with life.
And I'm telling you,
Uzomhleka.
Exactly. I'm gonna call you next.
All right, thanks.
Sharp. So yeah, exactly.
Dope.
So imagine having this type of conversation with 10 guys and them having the same mentality.
Yeah,
you see how calm he is.
Yeah.
He didn't say I'm gonna kill her, whatever. No, he just said, and he's my friend.
He's
So we flock together.
Stuff, right?
Exactly. So he's like, no, bye, brother. Get to your house, cry there, sleep, and then that's it. We're done.
Yeah, move on with life.
It's all about decision making.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. So, okay, so that's us, because we need to speak out and say exactly what's going on, how we feel, and really think about all these situations. What you said was so powerful. As a man, you need to think about all the worst case scenarios. And in that instance, what are you going to do? Are you going to do this? What are you going to do? That's very powerful, actually. I'm gonna quote you on that. I'll put it in the next book.
You have to think of every possible situation, because right now you love each other, you love your wife, but then there's a chance that you might hate each other.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? So please put your mind in that position.
Yeah.
Even in life in general, besides relationships, because I don't want us to dwell more on relationships, but even in life itself, when you're driving that Audi, you must think to yourself, if I don't have this anymore, if you're a religious person, am I still gonna pray to the same God?
Yeah, that's very
true. Because I lost that. Or what's gonna happen? Am I gonna lose myself? Is this car making me?
Yeah, that's
you know. So, so those are one of the things that you need to think of. Yeah. Everything that you have in life, you know, besides appreciating, but you need to think of it when you don't have them.
Exactly.
So once upon a time you didn't have this.
Yeah.
So now what's gonna happen?
You know, throw my life away because of
exactly. Yeah. So also while we're having the same conversation about one guy was complaining with you, I'm finding it difficult to speak to my wife about what I'm going through. You know, all she says is man up and all of that.
Yes.
But I'm finding, comfort and solace in my side chick.
Oh.
I was like, ew, bro. I understand.
Yeah, side chick. Look at that. Wow.
So, no, I'm just being real, So he was like, bro, like, and I'm not a cheating type, but one thing that made me to make this friend of mine a side chick, that's why I don't encourage men to have female friends.
Yeah.
Because you tend to get a promotion. But what about promotion? Yeah, it's about my side piece.
Yeah.
Because they're doing the things.
Yeah.
You know,
the little things.
Yeah. So he was like, because I find it comfortable. There was a time where I was like, I don't feel like going to work. My wife was like, you have to better get your ass to work. And then I told my side chick, I don't want to go to work. And she was like, no, it's fine. Come to my place. Let's chill. And tell me what is that you're going through.
Wow.
And then after the conversation they had,
he was fine.
He was fine. He performed better at work. So side chick, shout out to the side piece.
Yeah.
But
shout out to the side piece.
Yeah, so shout out to her. Yeah, if you know that you're a side piece, you must write. You need to be very, very, instrumental in the man's
psyche.
Please, man.
So if you want a promotion. No.
Yeah, you never promote side piece, but those are one of the chats you should have.
No, not even I'm saying if you're a female, right?
Female friend.
Not even a female friend, like just girlfriend,
a partner,
whatever. If you're instrumental in man's life, listen to what he has to say and say, babe, if it's okay to not be okay. You know how powerful it is for someone to tell you it's okay to not be okay.
Yes, and even if the guy is not used to talking, but drag it out.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. Don't let you know. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, and then watch the guy cry.
I've never cried in front of my wife, personally. I've never.
Yeah, no, but like the way the day comes, and it will. when the day comes, I remember for me when I remember when my dad passed away. I couldn't. What happened is that a week before. No, it wasn't a week before. Was it a week before? It was like I think it was like 1 or 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing any better.
Yeah. And certainly no better.
I say it's better. And also that's why I think that's why I can't smoke. I can't do it. I'm sure like his lungs collapsed because of extensive smoking. So I can't do it. People can do it, but I mean I just can't do it. Yeah. So then 2 weeks before it, I just knew, something quick to do. You're right. And my mom was like, it's okay, how you kind? For an entire week I was like, guys, I can't come to work. And it's just deadline time. You know, you're working at a project for about 4 months straight, like you're around. It's crunch time. It's crunch time. And it's like, guys, for the next 3 days, guys, I'm sorry, I'm not able to.
But how were you though, like emotionally and character-wise? Were you a monster or were you a baby?
What do you mean monster baby?
Were you like when you're going through that? Because you know, as men, when you go through stuff, especially with your loss. Yeah, guys tend to become monsters.
I was a mixture of both. I came across as abusive because you don't know how to really deal with it. Because like you wait for a superhero, it's very short. Oh shit, man. Yeah. And then when you were like a last born, yeah. You spoiled bread, definitely not. Spoiled bread does nothing.
How does that spoil it?
You didn't spoil it, but there were conditions. That's not being spoiled, there were conditions. Well, performance planning, no games for you. Okay, no, yeah, so I came across as being emotionally tough with my wife and fiance at the time.
Sorry to her, she stuck it out. She still said yes.
She still said that. She already said yes before, so I doubt man. Income is pretty good. Zombie. So then, I became then I cried and I cried all out.
You went through all the emotions.
I went through all the emotions. I was even I wasn't waiting for counseling as well.
Oh really?
I had to.
I was active, no?
Hey, no, because I was going for counseling before, but then this compound was there. You had to talk about this as well. I showed the time of the day he passed away. I also cried like a lot. And then I think you don't really get over it because like you remember all the milestones and everything. But some people go through a hole. You go into this hole and you don't come back out of it. Yeah. I mean, I was like, okay, listen, you wanted me to live my life. Yeah. At the end of the day, and the guy was like pushing 70, so like, come on. I can't say
he's not in debt.
He's in debt. I'm going to fall. So then for me, I was like thinking, okay, so I'm crying, I'm processing my emotions, I'm still going to talk about it, I'm still going to say, listen, this guy was important, but he also wanted me to live my life. And my wife, she helped keep me alive. Because it was like so much stress, or work stress, and then also I couldn't, you never think that this guy is going to pass away.
Yeah, because he's Superman.
He was.
Not Batman.
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that. If it was Batman, I'd come to terms because he's a rich kid. Rich kid. He didn't grow up in the hood. So, and like I cried in front of him, and I still cry in front of him, and I still say this is like how I'm feeling because you established that's the safe space.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good. A lot of guys don't get to that level. No. I've been with my lady for a long time. But I've never cried in front of her.
Jeez.
So now.
You know, ask yourself why. What is it? Like, are you afraid to cry in front of her, or you?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I bottle things up. I'm like Ricky Rick. Bottle things up. Yeah. And, the only people that I'll talk to would be my close friends, but I don't tell them the whole information. Like if maybe what I'm feeling. Yeah. That's just me being vulnerable. Yeah. I'll tell you as a gangster, I'll tell you on British. Imagine stress like this funny, it's ranking again. But it's a song that I saw again.
That's where it stops, yeah?
Yeah, and then that's it. You know, I'm not gonna tell you it's okay, I was affected by this, you know, yeah, got a warning, I was supposed to do this and that. You know, financially I'm going through shit. You know, I'm not gonna say that. So I'm just gonna say, oh, British, you know, it's rough. No, I'm rough. I need to control myself.
You hope you have bigger problems than you. Like,
you know what I mean?
With myself,
you know what I mean? So that's the type of, you know, thing that we need to get over as I'm out and, you know, and not be afraid and just own our emotions. And
I think that's a big thing. You know, most people who end up in prison are not career criminals. They're not people like, oh, I'm waking up today, I'm going to climb, I'm going to shine highest team. Most people who end up in prison are normal people like you and I.
Yeah.
When I say normal people, we don't plan to go to prison. I see Obo Sledge, Obo Papa H, Obo Chester, whatever.
And I will use a sledge.
I just like the name. It's Sledge. If I was a cat,
it's a chest.
Chest. Papa H. Normal people like you and I do, and then next thing, it's like the guys that you were talking about. What would you do if your wife cheated on you? I'll kill her. They were not playing.
They were not.
And most people go to prison because they don't know how to talk or to have good conversations or open, honest conversation where the emotions are high, the stakes are high, and there's a difference of opinion.
Yeah.
And so the next thing, like domestic violence, like a woman will stab her husband and she has to go to prison because she couldn't voice out what she was frustrated about, and vice versa. So it sounds easy, but it's really tough to just talk and be honest with yourself. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know.
It should be.
It should be. So I just talk. Just talk. That's why I got into podcasting, because I get the chance to just talk about things I know nothing about.
And ask questions.
And ask questions. I don't want to sit down with you and ask, like, what actually is going on? Oh, I'm dumb in this area.
You see that?
Yeah, exactly. So we need to be able to just talk and have a conversation. So what is the biggest lesson you'd want to teach your son? When at 18 months, he has to go out. It's 8 o'clock on his 18th birthday. You told him 8 o'clock on your 18th birthday, whether it's Monday, Sunday, you're writing an exam or not, you're getting out my house. You have to go to beer, go out there and grab a beer, take on the world. What's the biggest advice you want to tell him?
Sure, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
You know, it goes back to, you know, thinking about any situation. You know, thanks for this question. I think, you know, well, now as I'm thinking, I think I would want him more than anything to be himself. You know, and because that's one thing that made my relationship and my dad to drift apart. Because I wanted to be myself and he wanted something else, and he forgets Guti, I have his DNA. So Minana is Nenkane. So we're never gonna, you know, we're always gonna clash. I'm serious. I had to analyze the whole situation. I said to myself, okay, because Mina and I, Siafana, we both got pride. Should we fight? No one's gonna come. No one's gonna bow down and say, okay, but listen, I was wrong, because we're not apologetic people, you know. So also, I think I did not tell you this. After he cut me off, just a short story. After he cut me off, I left the Kaya when I was working, got an apartment, beautiful apartment in the sky, nice beautiful balcony, nice car, you know, the normal, the nice bachelor life. It was beautiful.
You were Bruce Wayne, that's what you was Tony Stark.
My life was nice, bro. Sure, fluently normal one's cooking and all of that. So I would go with Kaya. My mom made a deal with me to say, you have to make an excuse to come just to visit. I'll wash your clothes. So I was like, okay, whatever. You know, so I'll bring you washing them every week. So that would be a chance for me to see, you know, her. So now it was not nice to check on my kid, because I would park my car outside and then she'd come out. At a tip speed. For 2 minutes, I'm trying to hug. That's when I'm checking and I pick up. But I'm trying to hug me, kiss me, but every day, You know, she pushed for me and my dad to reconnect, because you'd be like, why am I doing here? Like, what's thinking? Like, she'd be frustrated.
Yeah.
You know, then that went on and on and on. Then it got to my dad.
Yeah.
So my dad was like,
yeah.
You know, the first time my mom told me, Baba
yeah.
I was like, hell to the no.
Yeah.
You know, I refused because I didn't want that. You know, I didn't want. Because I was like, this guy dragged this thing for too long.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, why should I go back?
Yeah.
You know, I'm good, I'm a man now, I'm good.
Yeah.
And he's not responsible for anything that I have.
That's fantastic.
That's why he can't tell me shit.
Yeah.
You know? So, next week, I went to Reading and she was literally angry at me. She was like, we couldn't do anything. You know, I was like, okay, but whatever, I'm gonna call you.
How did this disagree with your mother when?
Yeah, when she does the face.
Yeah.
I went in, sat down, and my dad just said one thing. He was like, I miss you, son.
Aww.
I was like,
really?
Shit. I was quiet for a bit. He killed me.
He murdered you.
That's the only thing I wanted from him.
That's it. I miss you. Let's work it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I miss you. Yeah, let's work it out. I'm sorry for everything that happened. Let's just, you know, put things. That's how guys apologize, basically, you know. And I was like, no problem. That's all I wanted from you. And then, you know, we started. I invited him over to my house to watch Orlando Pirates game. And he was like, yo, I'm on TV. I bought a big ass screen. It was like,
how big was it? It was 75 inch, 65 inch, 55 inch?
I think it was 75.
75 inch TV? My goodness.
Yeah, it was like, oh, on TV.
You seen him,
you know? Yeah. So, no, it's just that I planned everything that I had, and you know, with everything that I did in life, it was to prove to him, I can make it, and everything that I bought was big. You know, I lived by myself, but I bought a big ass couch, you know, big table, and I'm living by myself. You know, 2-bedroom apartment that doesn't even have furniture on the other bedroom. You know, so it was. Yeah, it was kind of like, I need to prove to this guy that I can make it. You know, I need to prove to this guy that I can do things on my own, you know, and so forth. So we hung out, you know, got to know him, we catched up. Now, me and him are boys, you know, we chill together, you know. Yeah, we roll the blunt. You know, he smokes weed, by the way. Yeah, he smokes, he loves weed, you know, and he was not too...
The weed he smoked is like with those with nicknames.
Oh, no, he smokes pure, plain weed, and yeah, for him... Oh, no, yeah, when you come, white, naked girl, no, he doesn't smoke that. He smokes weed for recreation. Yeah. So I grew up around him, you know, I as kids, and you know, for him it's normal, it's not something to hide. So now we chill, we have a beer, you know, I see him all the time, and yeah, we have a very tight relationship. So I would always tell my son to be himself and make sure that he's not apologetic about being himself. Yeah, and then obviously most of what he needs to have respect for people. Yeah.
Can I ask you a controversial question? That's a controversial question. It's not even a controversial question. It's a question that like asking about.
Yeah.
And then you have an opportunity for you to be the host and you ask me questions.
Okay.
That's what I want to do. If your son says, "Dad, I'm gay," and this is the life choice I want to live, what's your reaction?
I'm glad you asked that question, because guess what? I put myself in that mind.
You put yourself out. Fantastic.
But then it will always go back to upbringing, because I don't believe being gay is something that's natural. I honestly, that's what I believe, and I'm open to learn more about it. I'm not gay, so I don't know much about it. I have a lot of gay friends, so I don't know much about homosexuality. So I think Ukuti would have everything to do with upbringing, to say what is it that would make him to be attracted to, you know, men. So if he says that, I've introduced him to a lot of girls, we've done a lot of boy stuff and all of that, then I'll say, okay, that's probably who he is, and yeah, I still love you, still my son.
Yeah.
We live in a different time.
Yeah.
You know, if he was born in the 90s or in the 80s, it was gonna be difficult because we don't have education about homosexuality. You know, and people who don't like gay people don't need to go to jail, but they need to be educated.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's one of the talks that we need to have as men, because there's a friend that might be gay but he's afraid to come out.
Yeah.
Listen, the reason why you don't see me changing women or being with women is because I'm gay. It's because I'm gay, you know what I mean? So yeah, being a modern person, I would definitely understand, because I have gay friends. So why would I accept a stranger in my life and not accept my own blood?
Okay.
Yeah. When same question to you.
Same question to me. For me, the thing about that is that's one part of your life. Your sexual preference is one part of your life.
Yeah.
It mustn't be the totality of your experience.
Yeah.
That I am a gay person. I don't think you should put it that way. You should say that is my sexual preference, not that that's who you are. Yes. That's a part of it. Like, because I mean, I work, I go to gym, I like reading, I like writing. I
talk shit.
Yeah, I talk shit. Yeah, I like talking shit. Other people like to talk shit, so we talk shit together. Yeah. And then I also love women. And I'm also a married person. It is a part of it. So my question is, okay, fine, that's nice, fantastic. Why? Something was do. Okay, now how you can do that, I don't know. Yeah. And the other thing is, like, you need to find that thing what your spark is. You need to find your profession. You need to find something that you love to do, because that cannot be your entire identity. And nowadays, do you know how tough it is? We've got all these different identities that are out there. Now kids are being confused, and now they get picked if they choose identifying with being a male or a female. There's a lot of confusion that's
happening. Now you're cutting kids date at the age of 12.
Like, honestly, that's the thing. And then at 12, what do you really know about yourself and life? Maybe if you're like 18, 19, 20, you've thought about it. So for me, I'll be like, okay, like, same approach that you would have. You're saying we've done all the boy stuff, we introduced you to a lot of girls, we've brought you up real well.
I gave you a condoms at the age of 16, gave you a first packet of condoms at the age of 16.
Exactly, you know, all of that, like prepped you for life, because relax and family. I don't know what some people live. Relax and family. And then once I've really prepared you and I've given you all the love and affection, I'm still going to love you no matter what. No matter you, my son.
Yes.
I'm still going to love you no matter what.
Yeah.
The thing I want you to be careful of is that don't let that be your entire identity. Because some people will say, I'm an alcoholic. Then that's the entire identity. Or I love weed. That's the entire identity. That's a small part of it. I'm still going, because I still understand, because I'm not a homosexual myself. So I don't.
And you don't have gay friends?
I do have gay friends. I have one of my best friends is gay.
Don't lie, bro.
No, I'm not lying.
You serious? Man, come on, I can go.
Sunday didn't man.
Okay.
Yeah. We went to roads together, bought a house. It was one of the groomsmen on my wedding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so.
It's openly gay?
Openly gay.
Okay.
Yeah, openly gay. We went to Brazil together. Me and him went to Brazil,
nice.
Argentina. So I spent a lot of time around.
Okay.
So I don't understand his feelings.
So you don't have much education on homosexuality?
When you say, also, like, I'm educated to the point of saying, so, like, I asked it, is it a natural thing?
Yeah.
Were you born this way? Were you not born this way?
Or there were things that happened that made you not to like
women? Were there things that happened to you and maybe that I've spoken to? It's like, this is how, it's legit. It's how I feel. And it's just the way it is. That's the thing.
It's a fair point. Because, Tina, we would think, it comes from abuse. It comes from being surrounded by women, because most gay guys that I grew up with in the hood, there's a gay guy that I grew up with, literally. Like, I would see him grow, but then I would think what made him to become gay was that he was the only boy in G. So he played with dolls, who played nabo aunt, nabo gog, nabo siblings, so I think that's what pushed him to be gay. And then there's another one that's gay, there's another one that's lesbian. Both of them have been abused. So that made them not to, like women.
Because also, like, the thing about that, I think, some people say, no, this person was abused. I think that's not a very fair point. Because the many people who are abused that don't turn out to be gay.
Yes.
The many people who are abused who go out and they they still remain heterosexual, but then it manifests in a different way. They end up killing people or whatever the case. I don't think abuse only is what people call it the root cause, like will lead you to be that. If it's the way that they feel, I'm gonna have to believe them because
we need to learn more about it.
I'm gonna have to believe them. Like, I don't have a problem with them. I don't have a problem with that. But then what I've found is that. And also for me, like my uncle, I used to play with cars, and then I used to play because of course he was around.
So you played with the dogs.
I played with the dogs. I played with cars.
You also wore your mom's shoes to check. I wore my mom's shoe just to check how it feels to be on heels. You've never done that as a kid?
Wear heels? No. There was one time I was doing a drama play where I acted as a gay character. I acted as a gay character.
And I'm sure you killed him.
I murdered it. I murdered it.
You know, non-gay guys, they killed them.
I murdered the role. So I didn't necessarily have a problem. So I'm at least exposed. But then the way this question stems from, I was just chilling and having a conversation there. I'm like, talking about like raising kids and what it means to be a guy. And I jokingly put up this point. Like, what if he says that he's gay? Oh, yeah,
guys going crazy.
I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna disown him, I'm going to basically the same question like what if someone kisses me. So
they don't think.
They don't think.
Yeah,
like,
they don't think.
Because you're gonna kill him. Why? Why? Because like, what he's actually saying is that he's doing something that I don't believe in. So what if he does something else that you don't believe in?
Yes.
He's gonna like let's say he ends up supporting cheese with support parents, he's gonna disown him. Like,
yes.
So it comes back to having those conversations. Right?
Yeah.
At this point, we're going to start wrapping up, and you've got a couple of minutes to ask me questions on the show.
I didn't even have questions prepared. Okay. Are you planning to have a big family that you had, like you grew up under as well, or you want to keep it small?
From a time of 5.
So that's
5. So
in this economy, when the man,
you also panda, like back in the days, they used to raise how many kids?
And back in the days, because it was cheap. Kids ain't cheap, bro.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that they ain't cheap. I think we made them expensive.
Why?
Because we wanted to go to all these Lani schools, we want them to have like all the things that.
But you went to a Lani school, so you have.
I don't
have
to continue. I don't have this page.
So
it's paid to someone. Yeah, no, okay, so for me.
Shout out to his page.
It's a
wow, that's cool.
It's amazing. And so for me, a massive family. Like for me, it was like growing up was my dream to have 4, maximum 5. That was my dream. We'll see how we go after the first one, the second one, the third one. But now you need to be mindful because we said the economy and stuff. Because the think about it. Let's say I've got 5 kids. I die, something happens to me. Now my wife must raise 5 kids.
Yes.
So it's a risk.
Yeah.
So it's a big risk. So I need to make sure if I make sure I'm economically set, so that I have like 5. Like for me, the right number is 3.
Not even 2 years again.
The right number is 3. For me, I think the right number is 3. If I end up like kids are a blessing. If I end up with 2 and that's all I can manage,
that's fine.
Like let's say okay, this is a minimum 2 because I want the kids to have the experience of having siblings. Like it's a very special thing to have siblings.
That's nice.
And then maximum I think 4 or 5 will have to be a bonus from God Himself. Yeah. So
what do you think about family though? Like in terms of, because I would think that you did not grow up with your cousins. You did not see your cousins often. It was only the 3 of you guys.
Yeah, so with family, we did see our cousins. Like one of my young cousins grew up with us.
Okay.
But the other cousins, we would see them every now and then. Like my mom would make an effort to take us back.
Or from your mom's side?
Yeah, we would go see them. And then from my dad's side, we did have our cousins, and then we had our own complications, so that's why I haven't seen them in a while. So cousins are important because they help you think about other things. I wouldn't, like if you've got siblings and they have kids, make sure that they all know each other and work with each other.
Okay, so now that you're not part of the complications in the generation that you're in, would you then make relationships with your cousins that you do not? Not to say you see each other every now and then, but to know them.
Yeah, no, I think it's very important because like this show, I love this show. It is a very big community service. The show we CPC maybe.
I don't watch TV.
You don't watch TV.
No.
You watch Netflix. You use Netflix.
Oh no, I don't. I read books.
Yeah. Yes, you read books. Okay, so for some of us people, we who
TV, people like TV.
So there's a show called Kumbulikai.
Okay, I know that.
You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Watch TV. So Kumbulikai, and I found it painful to see someone who hasn't seen their cousin, their aunt, their mom, their brother, their sister for decades and decades, because they want that sense of belonging. They want that sense of, this is my person, this is my blood, and we should all stay together, because nothing is more important than family and close
like
friends.
how I saw you.
Yeah.
And didn't see you.
Hey Joe, that's not my fault.
Imagine if we're in Tomazano, you're sharing.
The next day,
Then we still stand
hey, come you're going to see that shy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's the thing. And also, even if the relationship is not close, but you need that support structure. Like you definitely need it. I've seen it, especially when I was getting married. Ooh, wow, way. My cousins helped me a lot.
Yeah.
They helped me a lot. So, especially once we were being estranged from each other. So, I'm thinking that, it doesn't need to be in your face.
Oh, no, of course. No.
But like, have a connection, chat to each
have
other.
a number. Yeah.
Have a number.
Yeah. Now, WhatsApp has made it to be simple. You comment on the status, you laugh, and then how's everything? Everything's good. Okay, sharp.
Yeah, and also, like how family feuds would play out. I mean, I got to speak to other people I went to school with, and there's like, I never want to see my mother again. Hey, why? What's going on? And then I want to see my brother again. Ooh, what's going on? I don't know what you're. But the other thing is, must Shuma. Who are you gonna call? You're gonna call your siblings, you call your mother, you call your close cousins to come help you. Just like this guy's cutting each other, not to cut off. So you have to be there. You have to be there. And then also when you negotiate, who's gonna be there?
Exactly.
Your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, everybody's supposed to help you. Yeah. And
I think also one of the things that made your wedding to be also successful was that what I observed was, the unity in your family, as much as everything happened, but then how united the family was
together,
and how the wedding was conducted, because obviously my grandmother everything that needs to happen needs to be and if you're not connected with the family and also how umshado is conducted, this is just an example with umshado. You need someone that's gonna guide everything that's gonna happen in a certain way. Yeah. Otherwise, those things have a certain effect on how the wedding can be played out. So I loved the wedding. Was very beautiful, and how it went down. He was very instrumental,
he cried.
Yeah, I love that guy, I always bump into him.
I'd like actually family is very important.
That's very important.
They're the people that have saved my skin. Especially cousins as well. You learn a lot more from cousins.
And also Malume food. You don't know.
But I've been in my room since I was 12. You see now. So it's a very special relationship. That's this guy.
Because now you like the head.
Yeah, hey Joe.
That's why I'm wearing this jacket, because it's hot. Now I need to respect
and I told him you could take the jacket off. He didn't want to.
He texted me on WhatsApp telling me I need to put a jacket on.
That's not me.
You tell me pants. Okay,
all right. Next question.
And then in terms of what you currently love, like your job versus writing and all of that, what is it that if you had to choose one, what is it that you actually do? I would think this podcast falls under the writing stuff, because it's all about communication.
Yeah, everything is about communication. You see, the thing about project management and product management in IT and writing and podcasting and videos and speaking, they pretty much interconnected.
Okay.
If you think about it, because in project management you own a business, by the way. The way it's set up, because here's this product that you need to make sure is delivered from start to finish.
Yeah.
And you're working as part of a team to make things happen from start to finish.
Yeah.
It's similar. It helped me in terms of the books. It's helped me in terms of the podcast as well, because like writing a book, project, from start to finish, you think of the content, you think of the cover, you think of the distribution, the budgeting, all of it. Like, and there's no difference. Like, the content is different, but then the principle stays the same.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So with project management, like if let's say I didn't do it for somebody else, I'd still be in some way, shape, space, form doing it for myself.
Okay.
Because the disciplines you carry throughout your entire life. Was a project. It was the hardest project of my life.
But exciting.
But exciting.
Yeah.
So the thing about that is, which one I love most?
The one that doesn't feel like work. The one that doesn't, you know, when you do it with a smile.
FIFA. I'm joking. I'm joking. For me, I think it would be the speaking and communicating with people like this.
Okay.
Yeah, I
love that one.
No, and the thing is, in project management, you know what you do in project management? 90% is this: negotiating with people. Hey, let's chat. Basically, the stakeholder communication and the speaking. I think that for me, that's effortless. It's the other things that are around it, because now you need to do that. The other things are around. Now you need to plan, do this, do that. But then the communication part of it, that's something that's effortless for me.
Yeah.
And I've studied great speakers from Tony Robbins to JJ. TJX, because you know. That's what my music is. JJ. Like the great speakers, the great writers. Great entertainers, all of them, they are parts of the job that they hate. Like whether you like it or not, you have to do this thing. Like budgeting, some people but you have to do it. So like what some people I tell them to say, like, is it the case that you don't like your job, or is it certain parts of the job that you don't like? Because whatever it is, you're not going to like it. Let's take writing, for example. One of the things I don't like doing is doing intensive research on what I'm writing about. Because I need to read, like not just read, but like read intensively.
So you don't miss anything.
You don't miss anything, and then edit, and then So that's also the tough thing about it. But then the good thing about it is that I like seeing the idea being on the page. So for me, I'm fortunate enough that I'm not like waiting tables, or nothing wrong with waiting tables or managing a restaurant, because I have no interest in doing that. I have no interest in being a lawyer, no interest in being a doctor, no interest whatsoever being an accountant. I'm in IT because I just like technology stuff. I love my gaming part of it. There we go. Yes, I'm a geek. So I'm fortunate enough to be in an industry that pays me relatively well, and that allows me to explore and also read up on other things. Because like it's funny, you'll be like, your microphone is so professional, your camera is like HD, because I use my phone as my webcam. You've got this banner that's like, it's looking professional. I'm like, well, yeah, because think about it this way. I'm in IT.
You know your stuff.
I have to. Like, I mean, project management, they go IT.
You know your stuff.
I'm creating mobile applications and web applications. I have to read and study about these things anyway. And like everything nowadays, almost everything is technology based. Everything, so it allows me to do that.
You have to be relevant.
You have to be relevant. So fortunately for me, I'm not drafting legal contracts because I've got zero interest in doing that. So
you don't want that shit. You good?
No. So like even when I have my own massive studio, I'm doing things all for myself, I've got the discipline of project management to negotiate and to lead. And fortunately for me, I do it every day. And I've come to realize the hard fact that there are things in my job that you're going to have to do every day. and there are people that you don't like about food, but you have to interact with them.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
So I've got 2 questions left. Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you one question. I've never seen you saying anything about music. I love music, by the way. And not that shit.
Yeah.
I love jazz and hip hop. And then, so I was wondering if are you into music?
Yeah.
If you what genre are you listening to? What's your number 1 genre?
My number 1 genre
that made you to fall in love with music.
What made you fall in love with music? It was gangster rap, nigga.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was gangster rap.
Give me your top 5.
What rappers?
In any particular order.
Rappers?
Yeah. No order. Top 5.
No order.
Yeah, on top of your head right now. That you can think of right now.
Tekashi 6ix9ine. What?
Besides rappers, bro.
Migos. I'm joking. I'm just messing with you.
This guy almost about
okay, I'll give myself this one. Okay, and because I think okay. In no particular order.
Yeah.
Biggie.
Biggie Smalls.
Yeah, Biggie Smalls.
Okay.
Notorious B.I.G. Tupac, Eminem, Jay-Z. 5 I always vacillate. I'm not gonna say Nas. I'm not gonna put Nas in there.
Why not Nas? I feel like Nas gets so disrespected.
Andre 3000.
Okay.
Andre 3000.
I can give you that.
Three stacks.
Yeah, 3 stacks. In your list, I'll take a B.I.G.
Yeah.
And put Nas.
I understand why you put Nas. I get why you put Nas.
As a lyricist, it's just that, you know what?
When you hear that shit, Illmatic, that's poetry, bro. That's poetry. It was 19 when he did that.
Yeah, done. He's done.
Yeah.
And then, last question.
Yeah.
What made you to fall in love with bodybuilding, and who's your favorite bodybuilder? And then I'm gonna debate because I have an idea who you like.
Okay, you have an idea. Okay, so what made me fall in love with bodybuilding was my dad. We'll start there. So
really?
He used to take me to gym when I was 14.
Okay.
When I was 14, I started like training.
And I was late, Kila, club V's and the gym. Kids start training at a very young age.
I started at 13, school. 13, 14 is still fine.
You were old. You were old.
Yeah, I started at 13, 14. Then I trained and started
picking weight.
Yeah, I started picking up weights. They said like Jeremy got a good body structure and whatnot. So,
yeah, genetics from him. Because he was training.
Yeah, genetics from him. And I'm fortunate enough. Because when I was born 3 months premature, I was born 6 months.
Oh, really?
So then they had to give me, I don't know what medication it was. Like, oh, so you guys give me steroids. Growth hormones to help you grow.
Yeah,
so like, you only get to race, so that's the thing. So in my family, I'm like this much taller than everybody of that time.
Yeah, you have the edge.
Yeah, I have the edge. So then, and then also for me, like, I have a fabulous item to look like this guy called, Frank Zane.
Yeah.
I want to look like that.
Oh, really?
One day, just to look like that. Just be in a couple of fitness magazine and whatnot. And I just have that goal. So I didn't know. Funny enough, I didn't know bodybuilding existed until I didn't know. I was just going to gym and just looking at bodybuilding.com, but I didn't think that this thing existed. Wow. Yeah? And then. That's
I'm glad for your honesty, by the way.
I'm dead honest.
Yeah.
So then I listened to bodybuilding motivational videos.
Yeah, those are the best.
You just pumped in the gym, right? But I wouldn't think. You always think about Arnold Schwarzenegger and that's it. This is the most marketed and notable one. Then when I really started thinking about bodybuilding, I think it was about very like 2017, 18. That's when I really started thinking what bodybuilding was like. Okay. So I'm like,
relate once again.
I'm not going to admit. I'm not going to like not condemn. Once I got into it, I started doing my research. So I can know exactly about warriors. So that's why I like bodybuilding for the discipline.
Yes.
The shows and the posing. I'm a bit of a fan of that. The oiling down. Just like a discipline in the gym and the diet. My goodness, it's crazy. Tough. Yeah. So my favorite bodybuilder, again, I'll go top 5. Not who I want to look like, but just like my favorites. Yeah. So there's Ronnie Coleman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lee Haney, Phil Heath, and Dorian Yates.
that's a weird one, but I understand. But that's a very weird one.
Yeah, it was
is that a particular order or?
There wasn't a particular order, but one I'd say who's made most impacted me because of fun I have is Ronnie Coleman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I give you my 5?
Yeah, give me your 5.
My top 5.
Yeah.
Number 1 in that order.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Flex Wheeler.
Without
Flex Wheeler,
there is no Ronnie Coleman.
There's no Ronnie Coleman. I'm glad you acknowledged that. Flex Wheeler number 1. Ronnie Coleman number 2. Number 3. Jay Cutler. I feel like he's underrated.
Yeah, do you know he got second place 6 times, eh?
Yeah, he's underrated, and he gave Ronnie Coleman a run for his money.
He's the only one to beat Ronnie Coleman, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So yeah, Jay Cutler, that's number 1. Number 3, right?
Yeah.
Then I've got number 4.
Yeah.
On Phil
Heath, yeah, the gift, yeah. Number 5.
Number 5, I'm struggling. Number 5, I'm struggling.
So out of person's list has Ronnie, Arnold, Jay, with all due respect to Jay, Dorian, there's Lee Haney.
My thing is with Lee Haney, as much as you know he's one of the greatest of all time, having the same record as Ronnie, I didn't see him perform. Didn't see him compete.
So people that you see.
Dorian Yates as well. He was at his peak in the early 90s. I wasn't watching him. He was with Sean Reyes and them. You know, so
just people that you've seen,
people that I have seen and that I've actually seen them change.
Yeah,
you know, that's what I will tell you about Ronnie Coleman 2002. Yes, you understand. So the last one that I would say,
how about Dexter?
I know Dexter. You know, the Razor is good, but I wouldn't put him in the top 10 because
not
not Kevin Rooney, no.
I don't know why they put this guy in here. He doesn't deserve to be top 10.
I would say maybe Kai Green.
Even though he got snubbed so many times, he should have at least 1, even 2 Olympians.
Yeah, Kai Green. At some point he was better than Phil, but then because Phil, you know, with the judging, man, it's not the people that judge. Sometimes they get it right, sometimes they don't.
You get it very
right. So
okay.
So I would say Kai. I put Kai Green. It's just that he does not have, you know, a lot of, you know, accolades.
Yeah.
So
no, I get you, but he's like a very good person. For me, who I want to look like is this guy. That's it. That's it. I want to look like this guy. That's it.
That's crazy.
Because this is something I know I can attain. I'm not gonna get to right.
What weight class is this?
This is he's 200 pounds.
200 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's around 80 something.
No, that's around 80, 92 kilograms. Yeah. So this guy.
How much do you weigh?
I weigh 92.
Oh, nice. Yeah. How much do you think I weigh?
105, 10.
135.
You weigh 135. God damn, that's like 300 kg. You're 300 pounds. You're over 300 pounds. Oh, shit. Okay, because I don't know what pounds is like.
Pounds, I think it's like 1.7.
1.7.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so because I looked at his dimensions, his proportions,
and you can tell with this physique at this time, aka steroids, they call it
it's juice.
Gear was not popular back then.
Yeah.
So this is pure hard work.
Pure hard work.
Yeah,
like what he did,
hard work.
but I do know that he did inject amino acids.
Yeah, well, he did, but it wasn't sophisticated like now.
Imagine, like I think Ronnie Coleman said, imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger on what they had back then. Yes,
it was gonna be massive. Yeah, it was gonna be massive.
Yes.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger was like a lab rat, so they tested most of these new drugs on him, and you know he was big. Man.
Yeah, he was really big. So like, who I would want to look like? Frank saying that's the worst one. I don't want to look like Ronnie. I don't want to look like Phil. I don't want to look like
But go to Flex, bro. Can you go to Flex?
Yeah, let's go to Flex.
Oh man.
Flex Wheeler was.
Oh man.
Didn't they call him the Sultan of Symmetry?
Man.
Yeah, call him the Sultan of Symmetry.
Oh, man.
This is like the most iconic bodybuilding picture.
Oh man. Look at this, man.
I mean, like, come on, you pull up the big one.
And he's got his legs amputated.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is beautiful. And then Sean Roden also did the same pose as well.
Yeah.
May he so rest in peace.
Yeah, Sean Roden. Hey, these bodybuilders just
And all of them is the same thing. Heart attacks and all of that. So it goes back to gear.
It goes back
to that.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that could mess up your heart.
Honestly, I would never gear because I'm not going to do it.
Never say never because.
Why?
No, never say never because there's a situation that would make you be on gear.
Yeah.
Like let's say for example, I said to myself, I'll only start doing it when I get to a certain age and also I have kids. Like maybe 2 or 3 kids.
Why?
Because you know there's after effects when it comes to kids. Sometimes it affects your infertility.
You can't produce testosterone or something like that. Yeah.
Naturally and stuff like that. So now at our age, our testosterone is at its peak.
Yeah.
That's why we just take supplements, protein shakes and all of that. But then when you get to a certain age, doing the sport that we do, you could never do the weights that you're doing without gear. And you must remember, we love bodybuilding. You know, we want to squat 5 plates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember putting a video of me doing that's only 110 kgs.
I mean, you were pushing course the other day. Yeah. I mean, you know, but that's a leg press, so you're still cheating. Anyways.
What should I do? Put on my back.
So when you get to 50, you could never do that. No. So yeah, so you have gear that is administered professional.
Okay, no, okay, I get you there.
It's like with your running. They ask him about gear.
He says
He says he does it, but then it's administered and it's something that is done professional. That's why he's healthy internally. Yeah. He just has this, hip surgery that happened.
Yeah, that messed him up.
Yeah, but internally everything is fine.
Yeah. Okay, so from that perspective, I guess.
So please don't say never.
Alright, I won't say never. Right
now. The age of 50. Luna 50, we purpose one.
Look like a house. 100%. So, honestly, for me, me being late to bodybuilding, I'm like, why didn't I actually think about it earlier on? Yeah.
It's actually good that you started late because you get to a point whereby and I'm glad you trained in a learning place because you don't get those conversations. Yeah. If you train in the hood, it's steroids talk everywhere you go.
Wow.
When you get to the hood, they tell you they say you and you're like, how am I supposed to train, my bro? They're like, bro, there's this thing, I'm gonna hook you up. You want? And with the hood, the people are not educated.
Yeah.
So they tend to administer shit wrong. And all these things, they come from Thailand, they come from those Indian places, and they don't have proper instructions. So you have people popping pills, popping injections, and then they have swollen arms.
Yeah.
They're not balanced in their shape. Even the type of exercises they do, there's no symmetry in their body, so it fucks you up.
Big time.
Yeah, it does fuck you up. So in many places, the nice thing is that you train by yourself, you do your own thing. If you do your own steroids, you do them by yourself. But if you get caught, you get kicked out.
Yeah, 100%. You get kicked out. I mean, because I would have the conversations. Because I heard one guy said, "Yo, don't juice. It's called juice.
Don't juice
without proper advice because now he cannot produce testosterone by himself.
Naturally, yes.
Stay away from certain brands. I'm like, why? Because this happened. They use all these substances that are not good for you, so you need to really think what you use. But so then the advice that I was giving is like, make sure your diet is
proper
on point. Then you can start throwing in your supplements. Make sure your training is on point and your diet is on point. I think with Sean Ray, he said, if I only had $20, like 300 rand now. He said I wouldn't go buy protein powder. This is a guy who got second Mr. Olympia twice. So he knows what he's talking about. He said, I'd rather get myself a nice healthy steak and some vegetables and all that. So I'm like, this thing, I don't know why people give bodybuilding a bad thing. Because if you only think about it, what is it that you need to be a good bodybuilder except for juice?
Diet and discipline.
The diet, the discipline, you go to gym, hard work, and you have to be healthy. So how can you eat it? How can you
can't eat that.
You can't.
And also, one of the things that give people who train, not necessarily bodybuilders, the edge, especially in the workspaces, is that they get hired first. So as a manager, I would hire someone that trains than a person that doesn't train, because he understands the discipline. He's not going to be, first of all, he's not going to be late at work because he's not there for gymming. So he's used to the system of coming to work on time. Since he is at the gym on time, he is also disciplined. So the art of discipline comes from the gym. So those are the best employees ever. The best. They're productive at work.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what life would be like without a gym.
Oh no, true. It'd be crazy.
And also, if I don't gym at least once or even twice a week, at least.
I get sick.
Really?
I get sick literally. I have stomach cramps. It's crazy. Now I start doing push-ups.
I have to do something. I have to
and it's not enough.
No, it's not enough. It's not enough. It's definitely enough. So this is, it's a great. I don't know.
This was his last performance.
Yeah, this is his last performance.
This was beautiful, eh?
Yeah, this is his last performance, and he was doing men's physique. Yeah. Like this guy's, he's a beautiful specimen. Okay, the most beautiful bodybuilder was Flex Wheeler.
Flex, bro.
The most beautiful.
You must listen to what Ronnie says about him.
Yeah, on that podcast.
Yeah.
Best friend in the whole world.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one. It's like that. It's amazing.
Talking about they argue about who has the most surgeries.
Yeah,
it's like you're beating me now.
Exactly. Yeah, so like, you know what I want to do as part, because I live by bucket list, because my life to be an adventure. I will just do one show, just a one.
If I just three,
a pepper. Number 16. Just to say I've done it.
Okay, it's fine. We'll support you.
Just
go ahead.
Just to do it once. Just to do it once, and after that, it's like, okay, it's enough. And in fact, my wife said I should do it. Just do it once.
Serious? She's supporting this shit.
No, just to do this once.
So you're gonna be on gear.
I don't want to be on gear.
Well, then you're not gonna be on the bodybuilding. Unfortunately, you're gonna wear beach pants.
Give me beach pants, fine. Like no, just to do a show. Just to do one of these shows.
All my church, we figure that by look up is baby oil. And the person doing bodybuilding. You know that video of the guy? I will show it to you. The guy went to church and he started, showing people the body that God gave him.
I don't believe it.
South African.
So I'll do the beach pants. Just to do a show. Because why? It's a preparation that I am interested in.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, Karabo, we're gonna have to wrap it up. I'll call you back again. Then we need to talk about just pure music.
Please.
Just music. We'll talk about music.
We'll talk about alcohol too.
And we'll talk about what you're saying, hot dog.
Oh wow!
I heard it for the first time 2 years ago.
Apparently, it's nicer than many gins. Apparently, yeah. And then there was a fake one that came during lockdown. And there's a lot to talk about. And I'll show you. I'll bring you samples.
Bring me samples. We'll alcohol safety podcast, and then I'll get someone to sponsor it. Okay, cool. So that's me, myself, and Karabo. Thank you very much for taking the time out to come and join. It was also a jam. All right, that's me and Karabo. And remember, guys, that success is a progressive realization of where the ideal. That means you're going after what you've always wanted to go after, and not because someone's forcing you to do it. That's the only way you can live a truly fulfilled life. So you need to go out there and go after what's worth it for you. And I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you very much, sir.